is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts. You know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I won't complain.
Let me have my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
You gotta run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we just secured the bag.
But you gotta promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places in a month. You'll be around my favorite movie. Lifetime. So great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
To keep themselves safe.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Cody Rhodes. I believe in Cody Rhodes. To the London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say, I believe in Cody Rhodes. I believe in Cody Rhodes. Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is so prestigious. Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes in the prestigious Royal Hall.
I'd be remiss for my friend if I didn't ask you about Fallen Angel.
So the Fallen Angel is a performer named Chris Daniels, and Chicago guy.
Yeah.
And was brought out to Los Angeles, and he had the daunting task of taking someone like me who couldn't move and trying to teach them the basics.
How to move.
The basics of the business.
It's time for Jim Cornette's Right Through. Sponsored by Stephen P.U. Send an email to our crew, buy a cameo or two. It's Jim Cornette's Right Through. Come and pull up.
back a bitch. You're about to get vile. Yeah. I'm a prom queen, but I keep to myself, stacking high green. You're in debt to your health. AARP. Ain't shit owed but my wealth. And my oppie's getting dumber every day. Ha! Up in the gym, but I never need a witness. Tonic and gin when I'm working on my fitness. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, yeah, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. I be flexing like the dudes high on tread, all natural. Better give her tens. They say Blondie, how you getting those abs? Hey Bobby, let me call you a cab. Long legs, I'm a woman instead. My eggs, fertile, healthy, and firm. My trades, flowing free like the Thames. And my haters getting madder every day. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. Yeah.
Yeah, it's B3CCA. It's Becca, bitch. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. Beating all these bitches and your dad is calling me his back. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. Beating all these bitches and your dad is calling me his back. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. She just likes to dance. I don't think that she can fight me. Get my heart rate up. I do that with your mom nightly. Sorry that I'm winning. I can beat your ass politely. Landing in LA and all the people say B3CCA is the champion of AFA. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. Beating all these bitches and your dad is calling me his back. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. You don't know.
That's next level. Oh my God. Am I unmuted? Yeah. Who's ready to go? PWT, late night, after dark.
B3CCA is the champion of AFA. B3CCA is the champion of AFA. Beating all these bitches and your dad is calling me his back. B3CCA is the champion of AFA.
Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT live show after dark tonight. Yeah. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks, the deaf in my right ear from water being lodged in it from swimming yesterday, Phil Marks. But we're here to do the damn show today. And how you all doing? Round of applause for the PWT universe for tuning in and tuning out. Wait, no, don't tune out. Tune in here. PWT, round of applause for you all for being here. We're starting a little late tonight. And that's all right. That's okay. Because this is the hottest show anyway. And yeah, we're here to kick things off, man. We have a lot to get to tonight. Nothing too seriously overly intense, you know, but some funny Mone stuff, which is really the headliner. We got some sickos. A bit of everything, a little bit of everything in every category there. So make sure you're locked in and you're excited and ready to go tonight for PWT. So let me know how chat is doing, guys. If you're on X, come on over to YouTube, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. Guys, thank you for 2,000 plus subs on the replay channel. Thank you. That's like my backup channel if something ever happens to this one or whatever, that one exists, and that's where I replay and put all the long form stuff. And thank you for getting that over 2K, and we're almost at 7K on the main channel, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. So if you're not sub. If you hate watch or listen to the show, just sub anyways, okay? Don't be cringe. And yeah, that's about all I have to plug. Check out the Patreon. Okay, if you support what I do, you guys can super chat in. $50 super chat, stop the show dead in its track. $50 plus. Otherwise, usually in between segments, I get to those. Our members are in green, so I'm going to be checking in with you guys throughout the evening as I do. You guys can gift memberships as well. They're only 99 cents. Or hit like, hit dislike. That's a free way to support. Leave a nice comment. Leave a nasty comment. Whatever mood you're in, I'm here for it, and I got you. Okay, so let's get into stuff. We're just going to start at the bottom, work our way up. Start from the bottom, now we hear. Pretty much that's how we have to do it, okay? But, well, maybe not the bottom, maybe the middle. For miscellaneous news, we do have a handful of stuff, but not too terribly too much. Cringe sucks. Hey, JD, PWT Saturday Night Greater Than Collision. Wasn't it on Thursday again? I don't even know. Hi, Denisha. What's up, sassy girl? Hey, D. Zinny boys in the chat. Let's go. I saw Jacob Fatu put some music out with Rikishi. Nice. Nice. Someone should link me to that. On Phil on God, I bet you wish you had this hot pod. Fuck yeah, James Wilson. I like that. What's up, Lincoln's in the chat? Dude, Lincoln, we got to be linking up soon to play some fucking 2K is what we got to do. Okay, so as everyone files into the show, we're just going to start firing off miscellaneous news is what we got to do, okay? So,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So here's Wayne Brady being a pro wrestling fan and luckily not having to choke a bitch, but being a pro wrestling fan. That's funny. He just owned him. Wayne Brady's like, let me just drop some science on you, bro. So here's Matt Cardona dropping bars. I don't know if this was like an indie get-together or a what is it called? A seminar that he's hosting. But he says not enough independent wrestlers set up merch tables at shows. The merch table is a great way to make more money. More importantly, it's a great way to make a connection with fans. What indie wrestlers do a great job with their merch table? I'll start Effie. So shout out Effie. And here's Matt Cardona, I guess, just dropping knowledge on at a seminar. I don't know what this was necessarily.
I feel like merchandise is so important. I feel like that's one thing that I go to these indie shows and not enough people are doing it. You know, like that merch table before, like you will see Matt Cardona at that merch table at every fucking show, unless like there's like some circumstance where I'm first or like I'm late. I love money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the most important thing is the connection you're building with these fans. When you're like face to face, you know, interacting with these fans, yeah, they're customers, but they can become like a lifelong fan just by the interaction you have with them that day at the merch table. And if you want to say, oh, I'm a bad guy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, first of all, it's 2025. Okay. But then if you want to play that card, be a complete asshole.
Yeah, do the MJF thing. Just go there and be your character and just shit on them, and then they'll understand like you're doing it out of love, right?
At the merch table, don't sell anything, but then they'll fucking boo your ass out of the building when you come out later. You know, so don't give me that I'm a bad guy or whatever. Like, what the fuck? I feel like
Yeah, true that. He's just dropping knowledge right there. It is 2020. I like when people live the gimmick, but even MJF, you just sit there and like do what he does, spit on people, or throw their belt on the ground, or make a little dick joke at them, or whatever. Look at Bradshaw here. Goes from assuming $1,500 is a bit to realizing it's not, then doing the maths on that, and then momentarily getting quite mad rather about a 2008 New Japan payout art. So here's Gerald Briscoe, Carl Anderson, and Bradshaw, John Layfield. And I guess he realizes he did the quick math in his brain. When you're a rich dude and you hear 1,500, you're like, whatever, That's why it doesn't register for some of these folks.
Tiger Hattori called me. And he said, hey, man, we got to bring you over a 3-month contract, $1,500 1 month. I said, $1,500 a month? That's incredible. That's incredible. I can't wait, And then so it was like a dream. So they gave me a 3-month contract. And so I remember so that was the coolest thing that ever happened in my career. And so, having that opportunity to just know that I had 3 months, how did I know what else was going to happen? I didn't, but
so they gave you $1,500 a month.
$1,500 a month, and I'm telling
Those
you,
cheap bastards.
I'm telling you, no, that was. I hung up, and I felt like I just hit the
lottery.
Yeah, for sure. When you're doing that starving artist grinding on the indies, you're like, holy shit, $1,500 a month. I'm rich now. The one perk of being a backyard wrestler. And this guy's name is JJ Allen, rather. It's not working? Okay, a clip that doesn't want to work for us. He gets lit on fire, some stupid shit. Speaking of stupid shit, Superhuman, right? He does a butt buster on the fireworks for the 4th of July. Now, round of applause for, it was just Canada Day. Round of applause for Canada and America, ladies and gentlemen. Who's having a good 4th of July? Who's having a good Canada Day buddies or whatever you're celebrating? Let me know. Here's Superhuman. I don't know if he probably spent his in the hospital after this.
This is Superhuman TV show. Today I'll be jumping on the fireworks. This is for the juggalos and juggalettes. Do not try this at home. I hope you like it. Whoop, whoop. Fuck this shit. Like that bitch up, motherfucker. Yeah. 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 Come on, bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck it.
You know what they say.
You fucking mark.
I don't know, dude. Does he make money doing this? I'm going to ask that last show. Like, what is the point of him still doing this? Does it still go viral? 1.9 million views, I guess. Yeah. And when it's like a special day, like the 4th of July. So WSI Network posted what happens when you buy fake views, but forget to buy fake engagement. And then you see here, like Saraya's podcast. Now, I'm not shitting on Saraya or Paige. I did a tweet. I made a tweet about this, but it's just like, look at the comments, you look at the views, 100,000, you see the likes, and this is really fucked up YouTube. And they're not starting. They've always lashed out on like people like myself who actually are grinding and put in the work. And I'm not shitting on Paige, whatever. But what happens is rich people or these celebrities, they do these fucking shows, right? And then they just buy their fucking engagement. Then they go to these sponsors. They get like 12 fucking sponsors for their show. And then YouTube runs ads as well. And basically these sponsors give them all this fucking money. And then they go, we promise like 100,000 of Saraya's fans will watch each episode minimum, or else whatever the fuck. Right. And then they just bought the fucking engagement, and they all do this. And like, I'd rather have 1,000 subscribers of people who fucking hate on me, like Brendan Schaub, than do what Brendan Schaub did and nuke your channel by fucking botting it out, or what Saraya in the long run will do. And just all these celebrities, anyone with a name or anyone with money. Same with these fucking channels that are just like 11 Labs, or they use like whatever AI program, and then they like hire an editor. That's it. But then they just pay for, they use Grok for free to write the script. And then they use an AI voiceover, and then they pay some fucking editor to like edit the video that goes along with the content. And then it just fucks up like real people. So, you know, they bring in all the bot activity or more of it. Right. And then who gets punished? People like myself and other creators who don't get the 100 fucking K, even though it's these people who get the 100K getting botted out, and the ad revenue that goes to them for that, you know, is how they make the money. Because, you know, you guys are probably thinking it costs money. Well, yeah, but they get like a fucking Blue Chew ad. So then they spend that on the fake engagement, and then they get the ad revenue, you know? And that's why you guys have probably heard lately, YouTube's like, we're cracking down again on the 15th of July on bots and ad revenue and shit. And like these fucking channels that are like AI, you know, reaction channels and shit. And it's just like, and I'm down with it. Like, purge that garbage out of there. I'm down with that stuff not saturating YouTube as well. But at the same time, this is what happens. Like, all of a sudden, Michelle Obama has a fucking podcast. You look over, every wrestler has a podcast. You look, every celebrity, every fucking TikToker, you know. So it's just super watered down and oversaturated. And not even saying her pod's bad or anything, but I bet when you watch it, you know, like, it's like Steve-O's pod is him. He just reads ads every 10 minutes and there's YouTube ads. And it's like, fuck, man. And we're all slaves to it. I get it. Like, you're trying to make, like, I'm not opposed to ads running on my videos, you know. I'm not sitting here like the bastion of fucking don't use ads. I think it's a good thing, or I wouldn't do this. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't put as much effort into my channels trying to build them up and shit if there wasn't like something beneficial ultimately. Like, I have a family and shit, you know what I'm saying? However, at the same time, like, I'm not against people, you know, doing their thing. I'm not against Saraya having a pod by any means. But I would rather her like fall flat on her face and get like 1,000 views on her shit than, or I guess that's not even falling on your face though. Like, people don't understand how hard it is to have a good podcast. Everyone just thinks they can do it. It's pretty crazy. So I'm glad that YouTube's sort of calling this shit out. And again, the indicator here is like the views and then the likes. And then the likes, I don't know. So the big thing with likes is like less and less people like shit now than ever, because it's like the scroll culture. Like, you know, people don't even stop to like as much as they used to on any platform. That's just the thing. But yeah, the comments are like, how do you have 100,000 views and 34 comments? You know, I'll fucking have a video with 500 views that gets 30 comments. So like, yeah, that totally is. Then you got to buy the fake comments as well. And then it just completely fucking ruins your channel and then ruins YouTube as a whole. I don't recommend it. Never buy engagement. Anybody who's saying, I can get you engagement is just stealing your money. You know, I just honestly got to say that. And yeah, Phil wants that Blue Chew money. I'll fucking take it. Yeah, I'm not hating on the people who read ads either. Like, I maybe wouldn't do as many as some of these other folk. I think it gets real annoying when you're watching some shit. But at the same token, like, I don't know. They're like, oh, we're increasing YouTube ads to like 10. And then they're all just like 10-second ads. So it's like works out to be the same amount of time you'd have been watching a car. I don't get triggered by that, you know, at all. And I don't even hate like pods who do that. You just fast forward through the ad part. Like, I get it. I watch YouTube. I understand how it works, guys. But it's just a matter of like, when everyone's doing that, fuck, you know. I would just like one really good sponsor personally that just, you know, made it so I didn't need 12, and then I could just sponsor the shit out of one thing that I really do like use and fucking enjoy and stuff like that. You know, that'd be the most ideal thing. Because you see like fucking, I saw Angel Reese had a podcast, the WNBA player, and she's sponsored by Reese's Cups, and she's doing an ad for like Reese's Cups, and in the background there's like Celsius cans everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing an ad? There's an ad within an ad. This is crazy. You know, it's just like we're in adception now. It's like that Wayne's World 2, I think, or is it 1? Where they're like, oh man, he's got the dominoes and it's like everybody just does it for the money, man. And it's like the Pepsi thing and all that. Get your paper, I guess, right, guys? So there was a reunion at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Evil Uno and Stu Dose. Of course, when they do the fusion dance, they become Evil Dose. But they were separated, and now they're back together in Maple Leaf Pro. Two Canadian indie legends here.
Another Montreal native and favorite to the outside. And there goes Hanson. What a reunion this is.
Evil Uno is a house of fire. He looked great.
And see, they use the Dark Order shits on the Tron because they work with AEW. That being said, Super Smash Bros. What's up? Put them back together. No. In MLP, though, they should get together and challenge the Good Brothers. It's pretty crazy that they kept Evil Uno and got rid of Stu Grayson. That, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news. Where's my sounds? There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Okay, so TNA news. Let's take a look at TNA news. We don't have a lot, but we got a little bit in TNA, so we will hit a banjo. It warrants it, folks. So Nick Nemeth goes off about him standing up for TNA when it comes to the partnership with WWE and NXT. A lot of people attribute Nick Nemeth with helping tip TNA over the edge of, hey, we're back. We're a real thing again, you know? And he's here with Jonathan Coachman, and he's going off. So let's take a listen.
Right now, some NXT people are taking up some spots, and the absolute biggest TNA pay-per-view in years that is going down in a couple of weeks, and everybody wants to be a part of it. I'm going to, I keep saying that I'm going to be okay. I know that I'm not letting anyone take my spot.
Damn right.
But
you're damn right.
I'm watching out for our locker room to make sure they're not getting stomped over and taken advantage of either, because that aspect of the relationship is very real. I want to watch out for it. And yeah, Joe Henry, I'm happy for Joe Henry that he's doing this great stuff. He's on WrestleMania. Are you joking when you don't think everyone is jealous of that position and would kill to have it? Yes, of course. So it's hey, I'm happy for this guy. How can I stab him in the back and take his spot? Let me think. And that goes through my head every day, even though I'm mostly joking for me. But I've been in that position when I was a little bit down the ladder and was what do I have to do to take this person out and step on their throat to get over?
You got to step on their throat, and you got to keep your foot there. That's it. Do it and keep your foot there until you've got a great idea.
Don't slap your leg. Just step on them.
Damn, that's the old school, brother. Speaking of old school, Cedric Alexander brings up 205 Live and John Cena giving them a standing ovation after their match. So many predicted it. They're going to run back the prime Alexander, Mustafa Ali, 205 Live feud that people thought could have been more. Now, it's very AEW-ish of them to do this. I'm just going to be honest. But the forbidden door is broken down, I guess, wide open, and everybody knows about everything, I guess, now. I was watching SmackDown, and Los Garzas had the AAA titles, and then they're standing there with the WWE, and I'm like, God damn it, they're AEWing it up. What's going on here? So, yeah, that SmackDown was not that great. The ending was decent. But yeah, it wasn't that great. But hey, it was like a holiday show. Let's get who we can. They taped it and then sent everyone on holidays. So was what it was. TNA always snipes me, so I'm not going to play this in full.
This is the Ali that showed the light. This isn't the Ali that I called brother.
Brother.
Do you remember 205 Live?
Do you remember, chat? TNA always snipes me, so I'm going to pause every 2 seconds.
We were the heart and soul of that division.
The soul.
We took the entire cruiserweight division and carried it on our backs.
On our backs.
And we took it all the way to WrestleMania. Hell, John Cena was sitting front row watching our match and gave us a standing ovation.
But how could you see him? So yeah, there you go. They're just fully name dropping, and they're gonna bring that back. And these guys are gonna have like the craziest fucking cruiserweight match of all time, and give the fucking X Division title to Cedric Alexander. And yeah, he wasn't going back to AEW as bad as I wanted to see that, or not back rather, but back with the Hurt Syndicate. He wasn't getting back with them in AEW because yeah, likely because of like what went down with Big Swole and all of that. So yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA news right there. Hey-o. Hey-o. I'm going to check in with chat. Okay, what is chat doing? We're flying through this evening. It was funny AF. Did anyone see Cena with the Jolly Guys? Wasn't that match the one where said Heart and the other said Soul? I'm not sure. Evening, everyone. I thought the Phoenix Andrade Fraxium tag match was fire, though. Yeah, like a fun match. And like the ending was pretty decent. Honestly, I did like Charlotte. And here's the thing. I don't like Charlotte and Alexa just like being in this group. The crowd wasn't reacting at all to like anything the whole show. Like Trish got the biggest reaction. But that was kind of cringe too, how Trish or Tiffy just pretty much laid out how I'm gonna beat you, then fight you at SummerSlam pretty much. Okay, maybe it's a triple threat because it's SummerSlam or something, but that's just overdoing it. You know, just have Jade and Tiffy go at it. But yeah, well, we're gonna talk about it in a bit. Like people are just boo-booing over like the Evolution 2 just has people spurging out for no reason. I don't really understand it, but either way, as far as SmackDown goes, it was like there was a couple cringe moments, but the whole Charlotte Bliss thing by the end of their match, I was like, okay, I can go with this. Like they're doing a good job because they're such pros. But like I was kind of boo-boo face about it when they were setting it all up. And then when they made their entrances, the crowd didn't really give a fuck. But then by the end of the match, it's not like they were on their feet, go, oh, this is the greatest ever. But it just had me going, okay, there's such pros. Like I can get down with what they're selling me for Evolution, you know, as far as they're concerned. So it wasn't like the worst. It was just like mid. It was just a super beyond mid SmackDown, but it wasn't like terrible. It's not like anything they did was shitty. Here's the one thing though, how AEW was that one guy from each team in an 8-man against the Wyatt Six. Now, at least they've been giving some story as to why that would happen, right? But very much some just AEW in the tag division right now, and because they don't know what to do. That's why it's like that, and they're trying to figure out how do we get the Wyatt Six, like which two of the Wyatts challenge for the tag belts, and then did the Wyatts freebird the titles? There's so many questions, I guess, which you could say that's compelling stuff, and I can't wait to see. But it's not questions that has me like I can't wait to see what happens. It's like, okay, you got to sort of clear this up because you have like 12 guys standing backstage, and they're all scared, yelling, "What are we gonna do?" Every single week about there's 5 guys and a chick in that crew. Just jump them all. You all go out there, jump them. There's way more of you. You know, don't let them one-up you. Like you trick them into somewhere and then beat the shit out of them. Right? That's the logical next step. But instead, every week they're like Scooby-Doo in the gang. Oh, Jinkies, what are we gonna do, Scoob? You know, and then they send Gargano out there to fucking try and hug Loomis. And it's like, all right. But shout out Gacy and Loomis. Like this week, they weren't also like yelling. It wasn't Gacy like yelling spots at Loomis. Yeah, now there, pin him. You're legal, you know. Over here now, come tag, you know. It wasn't him doing that the whole fucking time, so that was good. And yeah, Howdy's just like he gets a big pop and stuff. And it sort of made me realize on this show too, like every time you get to see the Wyatt Six, it's just a tribute to Bray. And like, I don't know, it's just you appreciate it, you know, you just appreciate like, okay, this whole thing is sort of just honoring Bray Wyatt. And if it can do that, then I mean, I'm fine with that because he's a guy that is missed, you know. So, bro, your Shaggy's on. Oh, come on, Scoob. Yeah, dude. Andrade and Phoenix should win the tag titles. How crazy is it that they got Phoenix and Andrade who wrestled against each other and tagged together in AEW a few times, and they're like just getting really over as a tag team, you know? Wyatt Six is a good team. Sorry if I make anyone mad. No, don't apologize here, bro. And you won't make anyone mad here for saying that, but not sorry at the same time. Yeah, you don't have to be sorry. People gonna have to get over it. Yeah. No, I agree. I kind of found myself getting over it on SmackDown. It kind of just, when I just saw the lights before they even came out and the whole crowd was lit up with the flashlights, and I'm like, man, it's just a tribute to Bray. Like every time for them to go out and just do that shit and give it their all. Like you notice too, when they're doing the poses, like what does Nikki Cross really do? But she's out there giving it like 100+%, like on the apron, on the outside, when they're doing their little pose at the end and shit. And it's, why is she doing that? Because she's getting a fucking check to like honor Bray Wyatt. And it's like, that's good. You know, that's a good enough thing. Now, I would like to have seen Alexa Bliss maybe get tied in with them. That would have been cool. But instead, they just like pulled a full 180 on her and we're like, hey, we're selling Lily dolls again. And you're teaming with Charlotte and you're staying away from the Wyatt Six, when all things indicated like she was going to get involved with them. So whatever happened there. And I don't know. We'll see what happens from there. Wrestling needs the Wyatt Six. Sure, I want matches with her. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's move along, guys. Here, I'm actually going to take a sip of this. Yeah. How many are watching? Over 200 on X and YouTube. Come on over to youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. Hit like, hit subscribe, all that good shit. I am going to, drink some of this beer right here. So 1 second. Delicious. Okay, so let's get into nobody's favorite segment, and it is called Sicko segment. Oh. So this gentleman here, Bizarro Babyface, triggered a bunch of wrestlers. Okay. Now we have to go back in time a little bit. So my guy was like, what did he say here? We have to go back. He like got mad because there was a Becca match added. Oh, he says, I was pretty excited by the roster Richard Holiday was putting together for a show. Bunch of guys 6 foot plus who look like they can hurt people. That's exactly what I've been begging for. And then, of course, he had to add a ladies match. Can a single show on earth be free of this? So this guy really doesn't like women's wrestling. And a bunch of wrestlers responded and shit, right? And the match he's talking about was Deonna Purrazzo, which, again, I'm not taking a shot at her, but it's kind of funny that she was, hey, keep up with what I'm doing and shit. I'm on ROH and I'm doing this and that. And then all of a sudden she's like in an indie match against Becca. But shut up, Becca, goddammit. She's getting the big names. And speaking of ROH, Becca was on ROH. Amazing. That's, I believe, because of the PWT universe. And also Spotify's fucking around. And her album was pulled down or something. And this is why she had some remixes of On Becca on God that had to be pulled off YouTube as well. We will not stand for this, PWT universe. Okay? But Big Trouble Ben Bishop, though. Guest of the PWT universe. Friend of the show. Pal of mine, I suppose. Right? And I had a blast with him on PWT podcast. He says, it shouldn't matter, but regardless, they are two of the best women's wrestlers currently available on the indies. Both amazing in the ring, very entertaining. This isn't white knighting either. Becca or Purrazzo belong on any show. I would watch their matches over any male wrestlers any day of the week. So I gotta be honest, if Becca versus Purrazzo's on a show, like I talk about that, you know, on this show. You know what I'm saying? Those are two ladies that I've put over on a bunch of times. So yeah. And again, was this show, this is what I didn't understand when I first sort of was reading this. Is this show billed as an all-male show and then they put a women's show on? Like, why would you even care? But yeah, this dude's like, when are you getting booked for WoW? Why is it okay for women to have their own promotions? Because it's 2025. But me hoping for a single show with just big guys is wrong. Yeah, that's true. It's not wrong if that's what you hope for. This show doesn't even exist. Evolve and WoW actually exist. So we don't really want equality, do we? And then Big Trouble's like, Evolve has men and women. I think he meant Evolution. WoW as its own separate thing, and the women on that show have totally different gimmicks than they normally do. Yeah, it's weird too, because WoW is like its own separate universe at the same time. So it is interesting. Women-only promotions exist because of a few reasons, but mainly so that more women can be featured. Hey, I mean, you guys know me. I'm like doing all women's WWE show. Like, if that triggers people, fuck them, you know? They'll be talking about it. So, but yeah, this guy's like, sorry, I meant Evolution, not Evolve. So yeah, guys, basically, this is to kick things off. Well, here, let's read Bischoff's, like, this is what I bookmarked, and then I went down the inception hole, but this is what his initial comment that got me into this story was. He says, all right, I tried to be non-combative and have a convo, but since you want to mock me, you're a misogynistic clown who thinks because you have an internet connection, people give a shit what you say. Sit behind an anonymous profile so no one will know who you are. So you cowardly spew some bullshit way ahead of you. By the way, unfollow me as well. Damn. But yeah, ultimately, this Evolution 2 show has everyone hot and bothered. And people are crying about it. And I don't know. I think that it's sort of being presented, and women's wrestling is being presented as an attraction when it's its own show. And I think you can look to NXT and see that in the next decade or two, it will be primarily, you already see it on Raw and SmackDown. Some of the shows are 60% women, 40% guys. So already on like SmackDown and shit. So I think in the future, it'll be more women that more people are into watching. And some people might go, nah, Phil, you're off. It'll always be guys. But I don't know. Look at NXT. Like, if that's an indication of what the future looks like, now things change. And I do think at the highest level, there's always going to be the need. Like, there's a reason in the UFC, the heavyweight title is the most prestigious, right? In any combat sport. There's a reason for that. But at the same token, like, it's already at a place where unless all the male stars are on every single show, which they're not, then it's like most of the show's women, or at least half it. So I don't know. Everyone's hot and bothered over Evolution is why we covered that. And you guys will see what I'm talking about as we go along here. So somebody hating on Blake Monroe, Mariah May. What else is new? Women haters here on this fucking app. And Dr. Evil 3000 says there's only like 20 people there. You could kiss all of them. And this is Blake Monroe made her NXT debut at a house show. And they're doing lots of house shows. So there she is. And she posted a picture. I'm back. Thank you, Fort Pierce, for the warm welcome. I would kiss every one of you if I could. And it's awesome. They just do these gymnasium shows untelevised. And you give these wrestlers, like, this is what it's like working the fucking indies, pal. You know? And so this guy's like, there's 20 people there. You could kiss all of them. And Blake Monroe goes 750 plus, actually, a new record for that venue. Fort Pierce knows what's good. So yeah, just boom, roasted his ass. In a happy. So in the Sickos and Wackos segments, I've also been trying to put funny, fun stuff and stuff that warms your heart as well, because the biggest fans are kids. When you're a kid, you know, it makes you feel like a kid again, pal. That's what the moments you enjoy in wrestling. And here's Bret Hart asking a young kid for his autograph, like a fucking true legend of the game. And let's take a look at this.
That's for him to sign for you, Bret. He's a professional wrestler.
You gotta sign it in white.
Okay.
Where's the white pen?
All right, you sign it.
It'll show up better in white.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So what a legend. This kid came dressed like in his pro wrestling gear. You know what I mean? And then Bret Hart's like, give me your autograph, kid. What an absolute brilliant. I love this.
That is something else.
Can you tell him your wrestling name?
I'm going to keep this, and then someday when you're famous, I'm going to go, I got his first autograph. I got his autograph when he was just a little kid.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Can you tell me your wrestling name?
American Warrior.
The American Warrior. Maybe someday you'll tag up with the Canadian Warrior.
Ooh, that would be cool. Want to sit there to take a
You take
picture?
on the Russians.
Then you guys will take out the Russians. Fuck, what a legend. Moving along here. So, what else do we have? Thirsty Thurston. Okay. He melts down and writes this fucking article about Punk. New, an inspiring moment of self-realization in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia as CM Punk courageously aligns himself with a visionary government that criminalizes being gay and occasionally deletes its critics. What a complete clown. And then look at all the usual suspect goofs. Suit Williams. Phenomenal stuff from Brandon here. This guy. Fire. Writing fire. Trevor Dame. The tone of this quality column in one Simpsons clip. God. Get personalities. Jesus Christ. Oh, you Simpsons clips. BJ Bethel, genius column by Brandon Thurston, wrestling column story of the year. Bunch of fucking clowns, man. These guys are legit a bunch of.
You what?
It's really that simple. Okay, moving along here. So this NoDQ.com. This is from NoDQ.com, and it's this whole thing reported by Fightful that I guess Harley Cameron has signed an extension until 2029 with All Elite Wrestling. Reports are she's getting a nice raise. The future is bright for Harley. And then NoDQ.com, like this is a NoDQ.com writer. They're all restarts, man. And this guy goes, E-Drones and Triple H are in absolute shambles over this, and I love it. She sees how Mariah's career is circling the toilet since joining NXT. It's been 3 weeks. Jesus. And wants no part of that. One more for the good guys. Maddening, bro. So this person says, I'm completely out of the loop on this one. What is Gabe and Mariah beef? Okay. So Gabe Kidd. Yeah, I'm out of the loop too. I don't even remember. So Mariah accused Sid Scala during Speaking Out movement, and Gabe went on podcasts and tweeted out some stuff calling her a liar. I believe her Speaking Out message is still on her page if you want to go see the specifics of the accusation. Oh my God. So Mariah May accused a dude in the Speaking Out, and then Gabe Kidd trashed her, bruv. Wow, I don't even remember bookmarking this. So what the fuck? So Gabriel Kidd on Twitter. So this person here says, Gabe Kidd is human garbage. I hope he's not on FD. Here's what this lovely lad said about Mariah May telling her story about his abuser friend, Sid Scala. So Gabriel Kidd says, you don't know her, you stupid twat. She has ruined people's lives. That's not my story to tell or yours, so stop acting like a fucking victim. When you don't know these people, you're not listening. Damn, man. Has she ruined people's life? It's crazy. I'm sure Brandon Thurston will have an article about how Gabe Kidd aligned with people who don't believe women in 2025. Yeah, I don't know, man. Gabe Kidd, he's fallen off so hard. Even New Japan fans are like, yeah, fuck this guy. He went to AEW. That's like the worst thing he could have done. So Awful Wrestling went back and forth with Joey Janela. So Shelton Benjamin went back and forth with Awful. And then we had Joey Janela go back and forth with Awful. And Awful defeated him. Okay. And Awful says, the eyes never lie, Chico. She's cooked and she knows it. And then I guess I had Awful all hot and bothered too, because he like tweeted at me from like months ago because I quote tweeted this and I was like, dude, she just has that deadpan look. I was like, but it's funny. Like I laughed at what he's saying, you know, because it's like, it's true. But at the same time, like if you watch Megan Bain, she has her, whatever. Then like months later, he's like, because he posts this, he's like, she hasn't been on TV in forever. He's like, a lot of people hated me for this, but does anyone remember when Megan Bain was last seen? Exactly. And then he like went back to our old tweet from like a long ass time ago and was like, where you at or something. And I'm like, what the fuck, Awful? So anyways, yeah, we haven't seen Megan Bayne. He is right. I don't know where she's been at exactly. So that is actually a good call out. Let me think though. Like, wasn't she on a Collision in a tag match like a couple weeks ago? She has been missing. That's what happens in AEW. If you're a big woman, guy, if you're Wardlow, Hobbs, Camille, Megan Bayne, if you're anyone imposing, you get shadow banned to the fucking shadow realm. But Joey Janela came at Awful, and Awful wrecked him, and he ended up blocking Awful. So, and she is dating Joey Janela, by the way. So this is why he jumped in, right? And the dirt sheets this week are like, Megan Bayne confirmed. It's like, no. Well, did she? I don't fucking know, bro. Everyone knows they're dating if you just follow wrestling at all. But anyways, so Joey Janela is like, she's been on TV legitimately every week since she debuted. You guys just make up weird bullshit on your lunch breaks at Subway, right? And it's like, why are you taking shots at Subway workers, bro? And so I think we have Awful's response, but Janela's like, the only time she's been pinned, she has a partner for a reason. Also at the same time, it raises Penelope's stock having them both on television every week. Yeah, so what Joey's stooging here, she has a partner for a reason. It's because they're going to be in the tag title. Tony's going to do the women tag titles is what's coming up, right? And so that was Joey's response. And then he's like responding to a bunch of his people responding to him. And then Awful posts this video. And this video was like scrubbed from the net. Right? Like, I don't know where this fucking right, but I tried to play it on this show and I couldn't find it.
Not fake!
And Awful plays this and he goes, this you, Joey? Shout out to those who work at Subway. And Awful just cooks this fool, and Megan Bayne's standing right there. And I remember this scrap. This is with this boss stick guy, right? And I guess he like waited for Joey. What happened was him and Joey for like years were talking shit back and forth. Grapple Vision did a video on this. And so this Bostic guy like saw him at this indie show and then like waited for him after. And then they went to throw hands. Watch this clip. This is Pro Wrestling YouTube, by the way.
Oh, 1, 2.
And, Awful's commentating it. Oh, no. Well, Awful Wrestling. Let's get your breakdown here of this scrap. Awful Wrestling's here live with the play-by-play.
Oh, 1, 2. Can't catch a break there, can you, Joey? Look at you. Getting stomped out like a forest fire.
Oh, my God.
At a fucking conference room.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. He got cooked, though, man. And then Joey ended up blocking him. So let's look at some responses from here. We looked at Joey. So Awful said, well, first he's lying. Bayne was signed and frozen for a while. Her debut. Second, he got trashed for real talking shit and finding out. Janela baby has blocked you. So his blocked neckbeards probably a while ago. Janela's like, yeah, that's me. Good one. And so Subway workers catching strays uncalled for. No one mentioned them or Joey. Bayne better not flub or botch one thing from here on out. And then Awful's like, I'm watching you. Oh, my God. He's doing a fucking Red Bars watching on Megan Bayne now. Gonna ultra dissect her. It's just uber troll shit, you know? So here, where I want... Oh, yeah. So Joey's like, yeah, that's me. What did people say to him here? And then he responds to himself and explains it. Joey, don't sell. You're selling for... It's just two dudes got in a fight. Dudes always have their side of the story in a fight, or I guess everybody does, right? Man, I swear, like I slipped and then I did, then this and da-da-da. Like, man, it just looked like two dudes tussling. No one looked particularly impressive. You both could have said you had blown out quads and no one would fucking know. You know what I mean? It just looked like two dudes not really fighting and everyone just jumping in and pulling it apart and throwing blows and boxes flying around or whatever. You know, there's nothing really fucking impressive, particular. Neither of you guys are going for world titles here, all right? We understand this. Like as in MMA, you guys aren't world-class boxers, right, guys? We know. You don't got to explain it. But Joey's responding to himself, overselling it, going, this is 20 minutes after I completely tore my right bicep off the bone. Oh, come on. It's CM Punk, my tricep. I fought the Bucks. My tricep was blown out, you know? And the moron with boxing training still couldn't land a shot on me. And then Awful says, so you stayed and got flamed out because that shitty merch ain't going to sell themselves, huh? Fuck, man. And then Joey says, I'm an independent wrestler, brother. I got to sell the merch. I make more merch in 1 week than you make in a month guaranteed, which is exactly the line that is like the obvious line people are going to go to. You know, so that's the thing. And you don't know that. Like, that's the thing. Just because Awful like hates AEW and is a ruthless troll towards AEW and your ilk, you don't know that you make more money than him in a week. You don't know that to be true. People think like because you fucking troll or whatever, you don't like have a job or whatever, you know? Either I don't troll wrestlers this hard, but like Joey got mad at him for what Awful was saying, and he was really on one about Bane, you know. So he picked it, Joey responded, and then Joey ended up just blocking Awful in the end. So it obviously got to him, but oh yeah, see, I bookmarked the response there. I'm not like laughing that he's injured or whatever. I'm just laughing at the fact that like you didn't even have to say that, Joey. So let's see here if we have the response. I don't know. He just got oh, here we go. So Awful's like, you tried once before to quote tweet jabs on my posts. Fuck around, find out. You did good, boy. So yeah, Awful got blocked by Joey in the end. So I don't know if that's a W. Some people consider that the W. I think when they're flaming back and forth, as Awful put it like that, then, you know, I guess he did take the W there because Awful just let it go too. He wasn't like responding to his own responses. Okay, look what y'all did to this woman. So this gentleman here, Wrestling Vice, says only the IWC will try to cancel someone for not liking a movie. Yeah, the IWC sickos went at Indy Hartwell and we covered it on the show. But they went at her because she's like, I don't like Sinners, the movie Sinners. And it's like, who gives a fuck, man? People are so dumb. We hate you now because you didn't like this movie about vampires. It's like, what if I don't like vampires? Fuck, people are way too kooky.
I'm really scared of people picking things apart or people finding something wrong with what I say or what I do, which I know that's not a good way to feel or a good way to be, but it's just something that has been like on my mind recently. Yeah, I just feel like people really like want to find something wrong with anything.
That's what it is, man. And they want to fucking try and instead of making a goof or making a laugh and going, hey, this is dumb. Let's all laugh at this. Or, hey, what about this? Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, what a discussion. Here's what they could do better. Oh, man, this is cooking. Yo, I don't get this shit was flame. Fuck you. I'm with Cena. Whatever. Instead of doing that, having fun, basically I'm describing PWT. It's like a bunch of mentally ill people on X going, we need to try and ruin and delete people off the earth because they don't fucking like a movie that I like. You know, or like other reasons that are just menial, trivial bullshit. And it's so stupid. People act like they're perfect or like their way of thinking is the only way. It's like, that is super fucking crazy. It's just crazy, man. It's entitled. That's all it is.
So it's making me want to not record things, or it's making me like scared to record things or scared to say things because I don't want people to take something and then take it out of context and spin it into something that it's not. So that is something that I am currently dealing with. I'm really...
Yeah. All because she said she didn't like Sinners. So this person here had a sign at Raw that said Becky Lynch smells like Seth Rollins' nutsack. And then Stephanie Hype says, like, he actually took a marker and took his time to write something about someone else's ball sack. Okay. Well, like, what? Are you trying to say he's gay or something? Because that's what I mean, too. Everyone wants to go like, oh, what? Is it because, like, what? You suck balls? Because, you know? And it's like, well, whatever, dude. But yeah, it's a funny joke. It's summer out, dude. She probably fucking does. So Elboo had this to say: Jacob versus Solo, Zayn versus Cross, and Asuka Jade on the same pay-per-view is yikes. If Cena has a bad night on Saturday, you may be looking at the worst bell-to-bell WWE event in a while. How did that age? How did fucking that age, dude? The card feels like them dumping all the just get it over with and get it out of the way matchups on one show. How? How is Asuka and Jade just get it over with and get it out of the way? That's just like a dumb fucking thing to say that doesn't even make sense. Oh, Jacob Solo, just get it out of the way. Oh, is that why they're continuing the feud along? With Jimmy and fucking Tala's there now and JC, and now they're right. And now we're all wondering, where's Tama and where does he fit into this? Because he was getting over on his own too. So does WWE go, hey, he might break off as a solo when he comes back, right? That's an opportunity that could be on the table as well for him. Oh, this is just the throw it all away stuff. Elboo, don't talk about it if you don't watch it. Okay? Like, that's the thing. At least when I'm fucking criticizing AEW, I'm like actually spitting because I watch it. If you're just going to say dumb shit like this, save it, man. Like, you don't need to tweet that day. Just save it. Just say, I'm not going to lie to the world today. You know? AEW Dynamite 300 will be working an 11K arena tomorrow night. Less than 4,000 people will be there. 36% capacity growth. Keep it up, Kosha and Tony. So Fightful says the shift to these mid-sized venues has been an overwhelmingly positive shift for AEW. The crowd energy is much better and each venue has so much character. Right. So when I said that 2 years ago, I'm just an E-drone who hates AEW and I hate Tony Khan and I want to see them fail and I'm a grifting podcaster, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone's just saying the same shit after they're forced to move to these smaller venues. Not when Tony could have done it and actually made money. AEW going to smaller venues is one of the best decisions they've ever made. And then Awful's pointing out, though, they didn't even go to a smaller venue. Like, they sometimes do that now, which is true. They don't always go to smaller venues. Dorby Allen, so glad AEW moved on from the need to look and present itself like the WWE. No shame in running these smaller venues immediately made the show look and sound better. So they're saying, so when me or Eric Bischoff says the same thing, we're grifters. It's crazy, man. This is fucked up. This is the dementoid. This is why no one will come back. You ran everyone away. Because now you're all just going to be hypocrites and go, what the fuck? This is way better. Yeah, that's what we were saying before, and now it's too late. Seeing AEW's attendance improve year over year? What? They can't even sell out 1,000-seat residencies in Chicago where they were doing over 11K, bud. It's not growing year over year. It's an awesome thing to see. Growth is good. Going to smaller venues is the smartest thing. Like, listen how fucking dumb what this guy's saying. Seeing AEW's attendance improve year over year is an awesome thing. Going to smaller venues was, well, how's it improving if they have to go to smaller venues? It's because this person's dumb and that he doesn't know how to say what he's trying to say. Like the aesthetic, the vibe, it's better because it's better as far as the perception, right? Is what he's trying to say. Like the perception of doing better as far as like, oh, we're in a 3K seater and we got 2,800 people here, right? So it's just funny to see them like try and come around on like shit people were saying 2 years ago that now they're like, oh, 3 years ago now. Now it's like, oh, like, are you grifters now? You know? My right ear's deaf from swimming. I got fucking hit by some waves. I can't get it. I can't quite plunge it out. It's been weird. But yeah, Elboo again. He goes catering. So this is just the biggest. This is projection of the highest order here. So Roman Reigns season posted, bros barely getting reactions now. Talking about Joe Hendry, who a couple weeks ago, like, came in from behind, pause, on Trick Williams. And so he's like, bros barely getting reactions now. No, dummies. Hendry's entrance is the music hits, and then he's standing there, and then he turns around, and everyone just pops immediately and shit. He wasn't standing there. So it's not going to get a normal reaction because it wasn't his normal fucking entrance.
Stupid idiot.
And you're in the little PC, the NXT arena, where everyone can see him running in from behind. So they're not looking at the ramp and trying to pop at the fucking ramp. And this idiot is saying this, and then Elbu goes, catering to short attention span, TikTok-brained wrestling fans with an act this shallow is a double-edged sword. We're talking about the company, dude. This guy defending AEW all the time and shitting on WWE, calling it the TikTok brain. Meanwhile, people are crying about 30-minute vignettes. There was only 10 minutes of wrestling. Oh my God, the fucking... No, dude. It's just complete fucking projection. It's insane. You live by it, you die by it. It was never going to last. The peak already came when he main evented No Mercy against Ethan Page. That's crazy. Now he's doing Slammiversary, won the TNA title. Everyone's talking about it. TNA's going live on YouTube, popping numbers. It's just crazy, man. It's craziness that it's nuts because literally what AEW is like, here, what I'll do is take a match, and then when you dissect their matches into highlights of just like, oh, there's a crazy move, there's a crazy move, there's a crazy move. It's jingling keys in front of a baby. Okay, AEW is TikTok brain shit. It's just fucking flip this. WWE, you guys cry because there's 30 minutes of storytelling, or they take time to do a fucking backstage thing and then another backstage follow-up thing, and then in the main event, Roman comes out and then whatever, and you guys cry about that. So how is that TikTok brain when they're trying to train you to watch the whole fucking show and it's a 3-hour thing and they're doing 3-hour SmackDowns? Like, you guys are full of shit. It's just always projecting nonsense because it's cope, man. That's why you start doing that. And so here's some dumb fuck rock solid wrestling talk podcast. So he says, how do y'all eat this shit? Y'all really entertained by this? Thank God for AEW, man. And yeah, I quote tweeted this and I just owned him. I'm like, shut the fuck up already. So here's Fuego Dos and Fuego. What was Cody Rhodes' name? Fuego Dos. Yeah. So there's the Bandito and the Outrunners. They did that like a week ago. Here's MJF like a week ago. Here's Harley Graham. Thank God for AEW. They would never do some shit like a fucking epic storyline with Gable and Ludwig, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And it's selling tons of merch and piquing interest, and it's one of the top downloads on community creations of 2K, and it's going viral, and it's like a fun fucking thing where it's sort of now, as I broke down, it went from being like a funny, fun thing to now it's sort of like seedy and sinister. It's like, well, what is Ludwig doing now? This is kind of weird now, you know, because what would compel Ludwig to want to even do that? That seems like that would bring shame to him and the Ring General and all that, you know? So instead of just like, oh, we're teaming with a lucha, so we'll wear lucha masks. Because ole, right? Oh, I'm Cody Rhodes. I want to wrestle on Dark and try and help get Fuego del Sol over. So I'm going to wrestle as Fuego Dos and pretend it's, you know, and I'm just going to be clearly a fake white guy luchador. Yeah, MJF doing this, putting Mystico's mask on, flipping off the Mexican crowd, and then getting saved by a French Canadian. And then the fucking luchadors get saved by a French Canadian. That's not offensive to Mexico. And this Harley Graham thing, this wasn't offensive to everyone with 2 fucking eyeballs and a set of ears. So I don't know, man. It's pretty wild how, again, it's just projection. So this guy here says, holy cow, this stuff is difficult to understand. Ricochet and AR Fox, a feud that might work, take on Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey. Fun match, but no substance. Then the WWE guys, MJF with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, MVP promo man, tell these guys it's not 2001. So then Benjamin responds and goes, small suggestion to improve your constant complaining. Learn how to use the word former. It means the same in 2025 as it did in 01. FYI, we're still AEW guys. Stop living in the past. Damn. So just like, why is Shelton Benjamin now responding to awful and responding to fucking all these different folk now? Right? Speaking of responses, Alfred Konuwa has not stopped throwing barbs at Ricochet since their little feud broke down, and I got caught up in the crosshairs as well in that. But Alfred Konuwa, friend of the show, yeah, he says, let's have a great summer, everybody, and it's him versus Ricochet in an anime battle fight.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Kick, flick, show what it is.
So they're just having a straight anime fight. Anime Sicko Wars. Holy shit. That's pretty funny. Meltzer said what just sent me something that I'm going to bookmark for AEW news. Just do that here. Okay. So yeah, funny little fucking back and forth battle there between these two, anime style. I wanted to play the music, but I can't. So Dan Barry says, "Dear wrestling fans, many of your favorite wrestlers have had a great time wrestling matches without bumping. In fact, sometimes they compete to see who could bump the least on a show. I've seen with my own two eyes a no bump ladder match. It remains a highlight." Exactly. That's like the point of wrestling right there, and so many people don't understand that or appreciate that. Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam says, imagine that PWI lifted our Chad Gable report from bodyslam.net we had a couple days ago, posted it themselves today as their own report, and didn't credit us. Shocking. This is the norm for them. Yeah, what's shocking is that me and fucking Husey don't get no love. No.
Allegedly.
Oh, man. Me and Husey don't get no love, dude. What the fuck? But yeah, man, I guess they're lifting each other. The PWI special, they're calling it. Yeah, a lot of people fucking have stuff to say, I guess, about PWI. All I know is just Mike Johnson flipped out on me for making a fucking joke once, and then he blocked me. So it was like, okay, I guess fuck you. But yeah, I guess they're lifting stories now, allegedly, right? So again, people trying to control other people here on this fucking dumb app. And this person here says, I forgot I responded to this. So this person here, Gail Kim, why do you follow her? Riley Gaines. So Riley Gaines, that athlete who spoke out about trans athletes or whatever. And yeah, so Gail Kim is like, if you're asking why I follow someone because of their political views, just stop. I follow people of all types, whether I agree with their views or not. I don't have to explain why I follow each and every person. Exactly. How about fuck you? Don't be a pussy. How about you're a pussy and you're that person who doesn't realize how to operate on social media or in society. You think you can control people and who they follow. Who gives a fuck? Riley Gaines is like a super famous person for whatever happened with whatever all that shit she was in the news for and everything, and all the stuff she stood up for that a lot of, like, the majority of women are behind, by the way. Okay. Clearly, as you can see by the way culture's shifting again. So it's like, fuck, man, people are so mentally ill. They got to control who Gail Kim follows. Oh, don't follow this. I've had people do that to me too. You guys wouldn't even imagine. Like, oh, well, you follow this person and they said this about me. Well, okay, I don't control what they say, bro. They post funny memes sometimes. Sorry, I follow Heel Uzi. Sorry, Kylie Ray follows Heel Uzi. You guys want to control her life? Fucking so goobery and weird. Why do you care? Exactly. And like, some people like to barb on Twitter. Do you follow people you don't like and then barb with them? People do that too. But yeah, this person's like following from one post you saw from her when her whole personality is trashing on trans people. Sure, you may not have the same political views, but I wanted to ask you why you follow certain people, because I ain't taking a chance on supporting a wrestler who may be transphobic. Okay, shut the fuck up. I said, I don't even remember writing this. Imagine being such an entitled dickhead. You think you can control who people follow. Talk to your parents and get a hug. Yeah, it's really all it is, man. Like, your parents fucked up somewhere. And then she's just like, well, then goodbye. Yeah, I'm going to like that. Exactly. That's how you just peace out, man. Go get a hug and peace. So Rhea Ripley, or as Chris Connors calls her, Rhea Ripley, talks about an incident she had with a fan back in February. Disgusting behavior from this fucking fan. God damn it. Sickos doing too much.
Did it really get to the point with fans where you had to publicly say, like, stop sending stuff to our house?
So it wasn't sending stuff. Someone actually came to my house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah. It was the last Valentine's Day. So like this year. And we had left for Australia because we had obviously his show, and then we're gonna continue with our honeymoon afterwards because we've been married for a year this coming Monday. So like,
And you told him don't get injured in the match.
I told him not to get injured, and he goes,
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Buddy Matthews is still injured from that fucking janky ring. Isn't that crazy? As Awful would put it, that janky fucking ring. He rolled his ankle on that shit, and it's not recovering properly. Craziness.
exactly. He goes, well, the bell didn't ring yet. Like, you little shit. Loopholes. Like, can't you just jump off the corner like a normal human? Like, please, why do you have to roll your ankle and like break everything?
And then he still wrestled.
He still wrestled.
What a beast.
And he still walked, and he still did everything.
I think we covered this a while ago. Is this not? I swear we talked about this all on the show. But yeah, just sicko stalker behavior. I'm like 99% sure we had covered that clip previously. So Elbu, again, man, the focus has been so much on WCW from the sickos, and what these restarts you see, man, from people responding to this. You see time and time again, people don't fucking understand like what AEW even beat, quote unquote, because Meltzer, like they had more episodes than fucking Nitro. So that's 6 years of a WCW program. These sickos respond to you and are like, oh, they beat WC. They were on Turner Network longer than. It's like, no, man, longer than Nitro. Like I could sit here and go, well, Thunder lasted longer than Collision or whatever. I don't even know if it did. But I'm saying, like, we could play dumb games like that all day. It's such a weird thing. Like, it's a dead company. Nitro died. What the fuck? You know, like, why is this? Why do you care? Right? And it's just because Bischoff said mean things about Meltzer and Tony Khan. And so they have to fucking, and we'll see Tony Khan marking out over Dave Meltzer himself. But Elbu's like, reminder that when AEW started, they didn't even have a year guaranteed on TNT until Warner Media renewed him in January 2020. Yes. Their first couple years were banging. The show outlived Nitro and made it to 300 episodes. Why is that a focus? And Eric Bischoff quote tweeted me and responded to it. And I think I bookmarked his response as well. But again, him acknowledging PWT. But he says the show outlived Nitro, whatever. A lot of goalposts were moved. Yeah, you goobers saying it's going to beat Raw. And then now you're talking about it beat Nitro, which beat Raw for 83 weeks and then got destroyed. So, yes, the goalposts moving. You're projecting again. A lot of goalposts were moved over the last 6 years. But what shouldn't be downplayed is how many podcasters and pundits paid their bills telling audiences that this promotion would not make it to this point. Now, I've never said it wouldn't. I say I still am on this train. AEW will exist forever. It will. I've never doubted that. If TNA lasted this long, Tony Khan's got infinity bucks compared to what they were playing with in TNA. And it's not even like he's got to ask his dad. Like if his dad gave him his trust fund, and then and I've said, God forbid, I don't want Shad Khan to pass away or anything, but let's say the day that does happen, do you not think Tony will inherit like what the whole fucking empire? Like this AEW will last forever. what I was saying was the chance to compete in this day and age, and this is what I've always said since day one, you get one shot to actually have a run at WWE, but the minute people think you're below them, you're fucking cooked. And why do I know this? Because it happened to every other company. You can't let them get their foot on your neck. Tony let them do that by fucking up so many different things and just having terrible creative and not listening to the fans and not evolving. And now the criticisms have turned into, okay, you guys need to start running smaller venues now and shit, right? So it's your guys' end where the fucking goalpost moved. Now, I don't know if Jim Cornette's like, it won't make it past this day. And Awful's like, it won't make it till 2027 and shit like that. Okay, that's on them for sure. I'm speaking for myself. But where I see the goalpost moving is on y'all's end with the pundits and the podcasters who aren't keeping the same energy when it comes to now the viewer. Like everyone was saying it was going to beat Raw. It might beat Raw, could beat Raw. Jericho said that. So many of the early sickos before they were sickos were fucking jumping all over that. We know the sheets were running with all the bullshit, praising fucking this and that. Even right now, they're looking at these stupid graphs with the quarters. That's like handpicked dummy math, and anybody with a fucking 9th grade math fucking credit understands that it's bullshit, you know? And like that's where the goalposts have been moved for the most part. I don't know if Alfred Kunua's ever said AEW will die and go out of business. You know, I don't think he's ever said that. I've never said that. I don't know if Bischoff's ever said it'll go out of business. I don't know if he's ever said that. I think he just said, I don't think Dynamite will exist in the incarnation it does now. He's very selective with his words. Why? Because he knows the kind of money Tony Khan has. And I don't think, yeah, I don't know. Your boy Phil's always said it ain't going anywhere. So I just don't know like who moved goalposts anywhere. Now, here's the problem. Y'all went from competing. This is the major goalpost and the elephant, the goalpost in the room that no one will address. Y'all were talking about it's going to be WWE and NXT. It's trouncing NXT and shit. Now y'all are all talking about WCW, a dead company. So who moved the goalposts where? That's all I'm asking. But anyways, yeah, I just said, why is the focus on WCW? Imagine if TNA fans ran around yelling about how it outlasted ROH or some shit. And then people were like, well, ROH is alive still, and it did outlast. No, man, it like went out of business, and they had to fucking sell it in the pandemic, and now it's a new incarnation. Okay, what happened to WCW? You guys are talking about Nitro. Nitro's like a late incarnation of WCW. That's what Nitro and Thunder and the NWO and all that shit was. It was a late incarnation of all the years of WCW on Turner. So it's the same thing, man. Like Tony bought ROH and it's like a different incarnation. I felt like that was a perfect analogy, but no, people again are too fucking redacted to understand that analogy also. But yeah, we have some sicko saying, I hope Iran fires a missile and it blows up the building, deleting both these dudes, taking up Roman's spotlight in Minecraft, I guess I'll say, because what the fuck. And then Eric Bischoff, Easy E, Uncle E, responds and goes, there's a certain segment of the IWC audience that loves to celebrate participation trophies as actual progress. It's all they have to validate themselves within this subsection of sports entertainment. Fun to watch. So there you go, man. I mean, Easy E agrees with your boy. We're just grifting, though, man. So Swerve Elite Land says Rush debut. Now, this guy's fucking shitting on Roosh, who's never getting a fucking chance. That's the problem. So again, I'm making my own show responding to all of these guys, but this I Am All Elite guy says Rush debuted in 2022 and signed a new contract with AEW in 2023. It's been almost 3 years, bro. Tell me one thing he's actually achieved in AEW. Nothing. Bro, that's like saying fucking Camille's never achieved anything. She's never gotten a shot. She's never gotten a proper chance. Roosh has never gotten a proper shot. Okay? They've started him so many fucking times. All right? He was supposed to be in this whole other faction with a whole different name and their whole own identity, breaking off of LFI and all this shit. Okay? And that just never fucking happened because Tony Khan pumped the brakes on all that shit. I heard I heard they were filming vignettes and shit out of pocket and stuff even for this and Tony just would air it on TV, then not actually use it, not actually go forward with anything. How crazy is that? So he's oh, you guys made this great thing. Let me air it on AEW. Then they just don't run with it. That's kind of fucked, you know? And so, it's insane to criticize. So I just said, imagine being so fucking stupid. You put that on Rush and not the guy booking him, who's also responsible for creative. Sickos will drive every last person away. Like, now we're just going to hate on Rush. Why? So you can bring in AJ Styles? Like, fuck, man. So Brandon Thurston gets cooked by Fight Oracle. So Fightful Wrestling reports that Tony Khan would be open to AEW holding state-sponsored events in other countries if the deal is right. And people don't realize Tony Khan would gladly go to Riyadh for Riyadh season. He would gladly do that. He would even pitch it as like, well, you know, the great Antonio Inoki, he held shows in North Korea to try and bring the world together. And I think AEW in Saudi Arabia and doing Wrestle Dream here with Inoki's grandsons will really bring the world together. It's great. That's literally what he'd say, guys. Hope you know that, fucking sickos. Hope you know that I know that is what he would say. Okay? Hope y'all understand that. And here's the thing. He, of course, would be in any state if they gave the money. And this also could mean the UK, where any place that wants to pay him to do AEW he'll do it instead of him spending his own money, of course. Just no one's trying to do that right now. Right? And so Thurston's like, a legacy principles like human rights continue to be phased out throughout the global economy in favor of more strategic alternatives. It's important to stay adaptable and remain open to opportunities for spectacle-based propaganda. And then Fight Oracle says, use trendy buzzwords, try to sound smart. That's you. Fucking A it is. And then a fucking Simpsons meme, which I'm not going to read. So Rhea Ripley responds to, again, a sicko. So this guy, the Solar Lover, says, the way y'all are acting that Triple H alone was the reason for Rhea doubting herself, when y'all are the ones who would latch on one clip of 10 minutes a match for weeks, dragging those wrestlers for no reason other than you don't like them. But Rhea just sticking up for Triple H. She's like, he's 100% not to blame. The stupid bully mentality of some people on social media is the blame. Them and the ones that think they can do our jobs better than us, even though they have no experience in this profession or experience in real life. So just defending Triple H. People, though, going at awful. I saw like 1 billion of these, so I just bookmarked one because it got 250,000 views and 2.5K likes. But how unemployed does one gotta be? There's a bunch of accounts mad at awful this last week. And there's like a bunch that are getting like thousands of likes, fucking posting his shit, being like, fuck this guy, you know? So sicko war is going on. Again, more elbow. He just can't help himself. So Meltzer said what? Post this today. He says, I told you elbow is a POS now. So now, because some rando on Twitter said WWE fans forgot about truth, Elbu has now labeled WWE fans as a bunch of minstrel show-watching racialists. Why would WWE fans still be chanting for him to come back after he's already rehired? Absolute clown. So look, Elbu had this to say, and guys, I said it here on this show, like, this is the only take when it comes to our truth. It doesn't matter how much or little they use him, because they're using him as much or as little as they did in the past. And you guys cried and got his fucking job back, allegedly. So if that's what we're to believe, you cried, you got his job back, he got his job back, stop crying. Because you guys weren't crying, we need more our truth on TV. No one was crying for that. No, you just cried that he got released. No one was like, you guys were mad that he was wrestling against John Cena. You guys were mad that Carlito was on TV. No one you cried to get Carlito's job back. So you guys cried. He got his job back. That's it. No more crying, right? They're using him the same amount they were before. The same amount or as much, or maybe even a little bit more if you really break it down. Okay? So they're using him the same amount. So stop crying. But of course, Elbu, you're all racialist if you're just like cool with our truth being back in WWE. And even though fans are chanting for him, but let's just say they weren't. Because in Elbu's make-believe head, they fucking aren't. But let's just say they weren't. Let's give him that. Okay. it shouldn't even matter because he got his job back. And that's all that matters, right? I thought that's all that matters. No. Now he needs to be what? World heavyweight champ? It's just never pleasing fickle fucking fans, dude. I'm sorry. You can never please fickle motherfuckers, you know? Backup Hangman says WWE fans don't love Ron Killings. They love their funny little N-word. Imagine like Elbu, you're like diminishing him. No one said this, right? But you're saying this and putting that out there now. So who's really being racialist here? Who's diminishing black people in any way here? It's you, my guy. What are you doing? That just makes me uncomfortable. Like you're fucking, it's so goofy just in this fake thing in his head where like, this is the grifting, bro. I'm sorry. This is the grifting. And you know how I know? Because I'll fucking say shit and I get shitted on by my own folks and get no reactions on X if I be critical of some, like I understand the fucking game, dude. And like, no, you're clearly just doing this to try and get a reaction from a certain amount of people you know that will give you like a lot of likes and shit because you blocked everyone else out. But their funny little N-word that popped them in backstage pre-tapes when he acted like a dummy. Yeah, hence the outrage when that was taken from them. No, it's because he's in the company for 20 years and he's a beloved character and he popped everybody and he's allowed to just be the funny guy backstage. He's not even little. Okay, what are you doing? And it's just a funny guy backstage that popped everybody when he did show up, and everyone understands that he's like 50 years old and he's beloved. He's had a job for like 20 fucking years. The people backstage love him. It's more than just the fans, and it's people who work backstage, people who know people who work backstage who love him, right? And you're just like an idiot. It's just you and your world, and how, I don't know. It's a shame. He's much more than that. Yeah. Everyone knows that. But he's been pigeonholed. No. And typecasted for years. No. He's not out there eating watermelon and fried chicken and drinking a grape soda and shucking and jiving. Okay? He did the whole little Jimmy thing. He did a whole bunch of different shit and was praised for it. His whole career, he's been a boundary breaker when he was in NWA and won the world title and what he was doing then. The man was smoking a cigarette at ringside, Big Show style, Giant style, bro. Okay? No, bro. Like, no, not at all, dude. No, he wasn't pigeonholed. He just fell in the last, like, decade. He made it till 50-some, didn't he? How old is Truth? Like 50-some? He made it to where in 40-some is where most people ride off into the sunset and end up doing indie shows and shit. And he made it a decade longer than that by reinventing himself as like, I'm this dumb, funny guy. Right? A little less than a decade of that. He figured out how to do that and create longevity. And instead of praising that and saying, yo, talent should look to a black man, if you want to take that route, like you're taking Elbu. Look, he's a guy that the black community should look at. Look how he got longevity out of his fucking career. And instead of that, man, you're like knocking him down. You're like taking a shot at him and then blanket calling fans racialist. The most diverse fans, by the way, in WWE. They have the most diverse audience there is. And the widest, largest, most multinational, global fucking company, right? And then you're just trying to make it about you're just going to virtue signal this bullshit. I fucking hate that so much. And then we have JD, ladies and gentlemen. Then I'm going to check in with chat. This is a long Sicko segment. Whoa. Lots of you tuned in, though, for late night PWT vibes. I like it. So, JD, he had this to say. Evolution 2, we started the Sicko segment with this. We end it with this because Evolution's got everyone all hot and bothered, right? So JD says, WWE breaks so much. They have an incredible women's division, but would rather sacrifice that women's division for an Evolution show that more creators put into their WWE 2K universe modes. Oh, so I disagree with that, man. Evolutions aside, here's the problem. If you tout it as it's this big women's event, then you get guys like at the beginning of the segment who are bitching about, fuck, man, why is there an all-women's event? Why don't the guys get the same? Blah, blah, blah. So what it is it's sort of like it's like a side quest PLE. that they throw on here. It's a women's only. So show up. If you really care, JD, you better be watching that fucking show and streaming head to head against me then. Right? You better be, because otherwise shut the fuck up. You know, like you better be promoting this shit and fucking giving it your all, reviewing it right after, doing a bonus ep on Sunday. I don't know what your schedule is like, but otherwise, this is why they're doing it this way. The women got to show up and show out. And I got to be honest, man, what makes this any less side questy than Night of Champions or whatever the fuck? Like, yeah, there's a billion PLEs every year now. And even in NXT, they fit them in as like TV specials now in between the bigger events because there's so many. And so, yeah, evolution's just got to happen at some point. And they do have a great women's division. And if this show exceeds expectations, then that's because the women's division is so great. So I just want to say that, man, this gives them a chance to shine. But anyways, JD says, stop diluting your product for greed. And because you have this weird infatuation with thinking you're taken away from AEW All In. It's fucking sad. Nobody's watching that putrid NXT show over All In. I think Evolution's on Sunday, so it's not even head to head. But if you're talking about Great American Bash, I mean, yeah, I've said the same thing. Like, stop focusing so much on AEW. Like, I would just ignore what they're doing. But at the same token, they always do Great American Bash. So when were they going to do it? Like, this makes it more exciting, right? And I don't even really know. Like, nobody's watching NXT over All In. I'm pretty sure a bunch of people are going to, JD. And that's the point. And that's why they're doing this, because they pull shitloads of people away from AEW shows now. And those bald assholes really, really want to fucking take out Tony Khan. Like, I think they want to WCW it the way Vince, like, that would be Triple H's first victim, you know? So, especially because Tony Khan talked shit after WWE was like having Jericho on the Stone Cold thing and reaching out and going, hey, Roman wants Moxley in the Rumble, and having Sami Zayn bring up AEW, right? Oh, DX took a pot shot. Yeah, DX wiped their ass with the fucking Canadian flag and took pot shots at WWF commissioner and shit all over them too. Like, that's what DX does. So it's like, fucking try watching wrestling for once, you know? But JD's like, the company has forgot to book television in such a rapid pace that it's fucking scary. Evolution should not be happening this coming weekend and should have proper build and a weekend to itself. Yeah, but JD, if it flops, see, you're not thinking business-wise, buddy. That's the problem. If it flops, then it flops on its own. And then everyone goes, look, see, then your ass will be there. What the fuck is the Momo? What is that, like a fucking cocktail? Oh. No, but you'll be yelling about women's wrestling doesn't fucking draw. You know, but they're doing it on this weekend. And so it has sort of a built-in, like what you're saying, no one's watching this over whatever. Now, I'm not saying WWE is going to use that as an excuse, but they want all the hype. They want to take the hype. Like, don't you get it, man? It's all about news cycles, okay? So they want to take the hype, like whatever happens at All In, they want to blow that away that night with Goldberg winning the title and then a Seth cash-in. And then they want to blow everyone away. Maybe not even blow them away, but just they want the news the next day. They want their Goldberg shit, and then whatever happens at Evolution to drown out by Monday the All In stuff. So that by Wednesday, it's like, okay, let's see what they have to, like, you know what I mean? They're just trying to drown out the news cycle. And yes, they are competing. Why? Because they're showing that they're competing. They want to compete. Okay? The Harlem Globetrotters still play the fucking, what are they called? The Washington Generals or whatever they're called, right? They still play them every year, or they still go on tour and play those guys. They know they're going to whoop their ass. They still go and fucking play them. Okay? So it is what it is. And shout out JD. At least he's got a hot take. But all I can say is that I think you're wrong about people aren't watching NXT. If I asked, or like people aren't watching NXT over All In. If I get Evil Dose on this show right now and I ask him what he's watching, You won't. You'll say AEW. I haven't even watched AEW in 2 years, Phil. You know, so yes, man, you're right. Like a lot of people will watch just NXT and Evolution and Saturday night's main event. And notice he didn't say Saturday night's main event because he knows good and goddamn well lots of people would rather watch Orton and Drew and fucking Goldberg and Gunther over whatever All In has to offer. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was an extra long. It's Saturday night, sicko. And sicko talk about. So let me check in with chat. Oh, but yeah. And then we'll get into some like hot news. We have AEW news. We have WWE news. What do you guys want? Chat, tell me what you guys want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna. While I check in with chat, you guys tell me what you want. Here. So Chris McCarty's been a member for 3 months. Says Serpentico wrestles under 3 names in AEW. He wrestles as Serpentico, John Cruz, and Ben Dojo on ROH. Yet none of them say a word about that. Well, he's actually Spanish, Brian.
Stupid idiot.
No, but you're right, dude. They don't do or say shit about it. King Dingaling became a new member. Guys, there's over 330 of you watching across X and YouTube. If you're on X, come to YouTube, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. The link is somewhere around there. Become a member. You get access to my Monday shows. I'm live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. We're actually late tonight, but it's all good. I'm having fun. Chat, are you having fun? Am I cooking? And 99 cents, or you can gift a membership. You can super chat in, okay? If you support what I do, consider becoming a patron. Appreciate you guys. Thomas Moore for 2 says, I read AJ signed a year extension. That he did. We're going to get into that, my good friend. Thank you for your support. I acknowledge those of you who are supporting the show.
Acknowledge me.
And what do you guys want next? We have WWE or AEW news. WWE news. Okay, one person I saw say it, so they won. We'll go to WWE news. We don't have a tremendous whole giant load pause of anything in either news sections. We have a good chunk, though. This will be fun. We have Mercedes Monet, though. She can't stop talking about WWE, so we're going to check in with that. WWE, you're cooking my dinner, Phil. Let's get the garbage out of the way now. AEW, there's a boycott Activision. Wow, that's a fucking strong name. NXT right now is a little bare with the recent call-ups. Hey, Six, Mike, you need to eat better. WWE, yeah, what's up, 626? I gotta send you stuff. I know, dude. I'm sending you graphics and shit. I get all my AEW new from JC Reviews. Okay. We'll get it from here, you fucking wacko. 4.5 mil people are going to watch SNME. Okay, chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show is everyone's favorite, Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild. Yo!
So if you're watching on the Clips channel, run those likes up to 100 or Jericho's coming back. 626 for 2 says back in Cali tomorrow. Let's cook this merch. Yeah, let's do it. Let's actually for real do it, man. We need them. We need it going. Shout out 626. Jericho the GOAT got that mute in quick tonight. I'm a wacko for listening to Jim Cornette. No, no, Jim's the GOAT, bro. I'm just talking shit. That's what I do. I'm overhead now. No, you're the fucking GOAT. He's the GOAT. So what's the word on paying Sebastian to sing Judas? Okay, so guys, it's complicated. So like if it's because it would technically fall into the category of like a tag for a podcast. You know, it's not just something that I would play. Like it's not just a personal video and then maybe I play it on the show and then I keep it and show my friends. No, it's like it'd be a bit that I'd play a bunch and would probably, so that falls into like a whole other, you have to like DM and it's a whole other, so it's a whole ordeal. And he may have deleted, I think I heard he deleted his cameo or something like that. So I don't know, chat, we'll figure it out. But we need merch before we need cameos from fucking, I'd pay more than I should admit to. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about it, dude. It would be a great bit, You all want to laugh. My sister's a Jaguars fan and she hates AEW, even though Jericho and Edge are her favorite wrestlers of all time. Yeah, dude. Would you fools buy a Phil shirt? Hit me with ideas. No ideas. I have the ideas. You just have to let me get to it, okay? I have the fucking ideas. I know what we're doing. But hit me. I'm hitting you, okay? But yes, get in the Discord, though, guys. Okay, let's get along with some fucking news here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have WWE. So Mercedes Mone gives her thoughts on Evolution 2. I think it's about a timer. They awaited way too long to have an all women's pay-per-view, but I love her and I will always support her and be a huge advocate for women's wrestling. I'm excited for that and for the women that get to perform on that. She said that on IG Live. We have some more clips. She can't stop talking about WWE and referencing WWE. Here's another instance. She quotes the GOAT, John Cena, from one GOAT to another. Okay? We have from one GOAT to another.
Are you sure about that?
Mercedes Mone quotes John Cena here.
Your time is up. My time is now. Mine told me your time is up. My time is now.
So not only is she a fake Bostonian, but she is now biting John Cena shit, ladies and gentlemen. No. Speaking of Mercedes Mone, though, I think she had one more clip of her reacting to the WWE universe. She for sure has some more clips in the AEW news portion. So yeah, we'll get to those in a bit because they're not in this section. However, what is in this section, Jeff Hardy was approached to enter the WWE Hall of Fame as a single star, but he turned down the opportunity because he wanted his brother to go in with him. What a fucking true class act this young Jeff Hardy gentleman is.
And there's great history with both of you with that company. Would you be okay if I've heard you talk about WWE, but it seems like you're so happy in TNA. I have to ask, would you be okay if the rest of your days are with TNA?
Maybe
Okay.
so. I think we do want to. I think we do want to do the WWE Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would like maybe one last hurrah with WWE, and that could even be possible while working with TNA too. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, it would be nice to still have the most limited schedule we could have, which would optimize the amount of time we can spend at home with our families and our kids. But yeah, I mean, not everything's kind of up in the air right now, and we both feel good, and I think we're going to rock and roll as long as we feel like we can do it.
One of you has been asked to go into the WWE Hall of Fame, right? But not as a duo.
Yes, Jeff was.
Jeff.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why do you think you were asked and not Matt?
Because I worked at AEW at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when was this? And so when Jeff was asked, that's why Jeff bailed the fuck out of WWE. And you could tell the way they were pushing him again as a singles. It was like, okay, they brought the Hardys back in, right? And then they were sort of split up. They were pushing Jeff again. And the rumors were, that's like his farewell run, one more big run with Jeff. And then he bailed the fuck out of there, went to AEW. And so this isn't like recently. It makes sense. Yeah, pal. That's why. Okay, guys? Vince says, Jeff, but not your brother. He's over there doing magic and shit with those fucking clowns. But now they'd have both the Hardys in, obviously. That's the smart thing. And then induct them both as individuals as well.
Okay, so but you've been gone now for over a year. Do you think it's coming?
I mean, yeah, we'll definitely do the.
It's
WWE
inevitable
Hall of Fame one day. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like for it to be sooner rather than later? Do you care?
I mean, I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
So they
I
came
was thinking 2030. I mean, that's
2030. That's your okay. So they came to you and said, "We want to put you in," and you said, "I'm not going in alone."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was their
It
reaction?
just
when,
felt weird. It didn't
Yeah.
feel right at all. So no, it's not time for me to do that. And it just didn't feel right going in without Matt. But yeah, I don't know. It's just that in the moment, man, that's the way I felt.
And how did they receive that? Did they
They said,
understand?
Okay. Well, good luck.
Okay.
In your future endeavors.
Right. That one again.
Yeah, so he's saying 2030. I think that's a perfect time for them to wrap it up, if not soon. So here's Randy Orton speaking to, I believe, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and he was just talking about Vince McMahon and how it was time for him to move on.
He gave me so many opportunities, but I think it was kind of time for him to move on. It's unfortunate that it happened in the way that it happened, but it's nice having people in charge of me that understand how important it is for you to be home for birthdays and home for Thanksgiving and home for Christmas. Vince McMahon had us, he had Raw on Monday Night Live where, everyone's doesn't care if he had kids. I came to him when I was 35.
Sports keto wrestling, sorry.
And my back really started going, and I pleaded with him, like, man, I gotta not do as many shows, maybe do half the tour and be able to recover. And he just looked at me and was like, oh, I need you on those shows, Randy. Mother Nature gets us all. And to hear that and go, okay, well, I guess there's no other, thing I can do other than just, wear myself out down to the nub until, I can't walk anymore for this man. And all the opportunities he gave me, it's nice having him out of there. And it's nice having his son-in-law, Triple H, running the game. Nick Khan's great. Everybody, the TKO that's come in, stepped in, they seem to get it. And it's just, it's a different era.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Yeah. It's got to be good. Even if you look to Vince like a father figure, it's got to be good having him out of there. Karrion Kross's Good Soldier t-shirt is currently the #1 best-selling t-shirt on WWE Shop. Again, he's getting a big push, man. WWE Women's United States Champion Julia sporting the new Karrion Kross tee. And she is there training with Kairi Sane, Io Sky, Matt Riddle, Sumi Sakai, Miyu Yamashita, and Yuka Sakazaki. I think Asuka's back there hiding her face. Who else is there? Yeah. So good shit, pal. And yeah, Matt Riddle running courses and wearing the Shaggy. Oh, Scoob. Wearing the fucking Shaggy trunks. Zoinks, yo. So breaking news. Lance Catamaran is back from, what was it called? Southpaw Regional Wrestling.
Please welcome President Will Derringer.
And this is an ad, I think, for John Cena has some show on Amazon Prime, I want to say. I've been binging Invincible Season 3 finally. Last night I watched 5 episodes of it. Finally. I haven't gotten around. It's one of my favorite shows. And it's so good. I'm like, why the fuck did I wait so long to catch up on this,
Questions?
But yeah, I saw the John Cena Idris Elba movie or show. I don't know what it is exactly.
Yes. Lance Catamaran, formerly of the Utica Nightly News, currently with South. What are we doing? This whole press conference is a waste of time. Do you know what's not a waste of your time? An action-packed, excellent extravaganza starring Idris Elba, Priyanka Chopra, and John Cena as the president.
Dude, he's mainstream as fuck. It don't get that's a huge movie to be in, or whatever the fuck this is. The Idris Elba? That's big time.
The United States. Imagine that. Imagine no more. Watch Heads of State now. Who the fuck is Lance Catamaran?
And he's the president in it? I'm gonna have to watch that, dude. Speaking of what to watch, Jelly Roll still, or pardon me, rather, will have a WWE storyline starting soon, I guess. He's gonna have a storyline in WWE. You what? Donald Trump says they will have a UFC fight night on the grounds of the White House in 2026, which is crazy, but this involves TKO here, so we're gonna
have a UFC fight. We're gonna have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're gonna build a little. We're not. Dana's gonna do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. Gonna have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events.
So I guess now the White House in Las Vegas, pal. He's working with Vince. Jesus, the battle at the Capitol. The Capitol grapple. Yeah. Chaos at the Capitol. Yeah. So, Vince and or not Vince, rather. I guess Dana White, they're talking about that. Also, it should be noted that Bo Nickel signed with RAF Wrestling USA, so Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff's promotion. He's going to wrestle in this promotion alongside his UFC career. Now, again, TKO and the way we're seeing WWE let wrestlers sort of do other shit, I wonder if that's starting to bleed over into the MMA side, because Dana White never in a million years would let anyone do anything like this. Sometimes he'll let people do jiu-jitsu, so maybe he looks at it that way. But wrestling's fucking intense, man. And jiu-jitsu can be too, but maybe they work out a deal where this RAF Wrestling is on Fight Pass. And that would be why I could see, because they're really focusing on, jiu-jitsu and, I could see this being another extension of that. Not saying TKO is going to buy or own, or is this RAF a private company? They could have invested in it for all we know. Like people, Dana White could have even invested in it, but I could see this being on Fight Pass or something. And so, yeah, I just want to bring that up as well, I guess, in TKO/MMA UFC news. Pertains to WWE, I guess, because it will be a big year where all of these fucking sickos freaking out about, TKO's in debt. They're not going to be able to say that because of UFC after this year. They're going to have to go, whoa, WWE, TKO brought. Now they're going to separate it. They're going to go, well, TKO brought in billions because of UFC, not because of WWE. That's what the game they're going to play, but we're ready for it. Speaking of ready for it, Fatal Influence did a TikTok with the Iconics, and this is what I'm talking about. I hope we see the Iconics fighting for the women's knockouts titles and the women's tag titles in WWE eventually again. So again, just more music that there's the Iconics, the inspiration. I'm here for it, Eric. So speaking of here for it, Randy Orton was talking how he's glad that Vince is not here for it anymore. Backstage and operating, the day-to-day stuff, that is. And Randy Orton speaks on his struggles with depression and anxiety. And he reveals that he is 6 months off his depression medication. Thank God. And it's fucked, man, because if you're taking like pills for the back and shit too, that can mess up your chemical, like give you an imbalance. And then you got to take some shit to try and balance that out. And it can be a never-ending nightmare. So round of applause for Randy for fucking pulling through. And this is on Fanatics, Stephanie McMahon, where they got jerseys draped up. Fanatics. It's like they're in the store. You can buy this and this and this. You guys hear that, man? Just enjoy every moment of Randy you have left. I'm fucking telling it. But luckily he pulled through and is off the depression stuff, and everyone deals with anxiety in different ways. It can be intense. I know I've gotten it intense a bunch of times in my life, and for different reasons too. Sometimes it's not even like necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes there's like excitement, anxiety, even that fucks you up for different reasons. And then, yeah, him falling back into his old ways. So what does that mean? Like probably boozing, pilling a little bit, maybe. So thank God he came out of the other side of that, because God, Lord only know, we too many stories, right? We've all got one, and we've all heard some about how that shit has affected people. So moving along, and speaking of somebody who signed a 1-year extension, those close to AJ claims he signed a 1-year extension. Now chat, I've been saying forever, like I could see AJ, he's already signed 1 year. So now he's going to go past the date that he set out for himself, I believe, by signing a 1 year. Like he set an age for himself. He's like, I'm not going past that. And I think by signing a 1-year extension, he's now going to go past that date, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could absolutely see him retiring from WWE, getting inducted, doing all that. But I could absolutely see him doing a one-off in AEW. I could absolutely see him doing a one-off in New Japan. I could absolutely see him maybe even in a TNA. I don't know about a match in TNA, but he'll get inducted in their Hall of Fame after he does WWE's. He said that publicly, like, I just want to get inducted into WWE's first out of respect, and then I'll get inducted into TNA. So he'll get inducted there. If he's made an appearance at Slammiversary, I wouldn't be shocked, okay? And he signed that 1-year extension. He can still go. He's still healthy. He's still over. There's still some mileage there. And I think before all is said and done, it's just 1 year. So after this year, what, another year? I don't know. I've told you guys, this is so many wrestlers' farewell in WWE. Be ready for it. AJ's one of them. Enjoy every last AJ moment you get. And especially if you're like, fuck AEW, enjoy the last bit of it in WWE, right? And him going and getting a one-off at next year's All In for a big bag, that's not going to deter WWE from wanting to work with him or anything, you know? And I don't see him wrestling full-time for any other company or anywhere, or even WWE. And maybe they just pay him enough to keep him so that he can just do, hey, I'll just show up for SummerSlam and then I'll show up for Mania. Like, maybe if they value that in him. But, or if they see that in him, which maybe some people would argue he's not that kind of guy. Like, he's not at a Cena level where you could do that with him. I think you could, because he's a special wrestler, you know, and he's preserved his body, even though he's done crazy shit, to the point where if he disappeared for a year and came back, I'm not worried if AJ could have a good match or not. Right? He's like the fucking litmus test, in my opinion. So, I just think we see him one time in New Japan, one time in AEW. We see him on a TNA show. We see him just around. I could totally see AJ being that guy and shout him out, and yeah, certified Hall of Famer. And if this is his last year, again, fucking round of applause and enjoy these superstars, man. A lot of them won't be here much longer. They're saying The Miz is coming back. Well, is he? When's his contract up, right? He might have been going to do this show and his contract's up right after he gets back, and he knows it, and they haven't, and that's why he deleted WWE from his shit. Because he's like, oh, fuck. You know, they haven't even given me a new deal yet, and I'm going to do this show, you know? You might have a feeling about it. Who knows? So just enjoy what you can. But the Undertaker's daughter here doing like a crazy flip, and I'm surprised Taker lets her do this. No flippy shit in my house, or you'll rest in peace. She's doing flippy shit. Okay, so there's Michelle McCool's daughter and Undertaker's daughter, and she's doing flippy shit. So already she's going to be an amazing athlete because of her parents. We pretty much know that. But Damian Priest, so we talked about it on the show. Allegedly, he's dating, what's her name? Kaden Carter. And then allegedly he's dating Lana. And now he's like confirmed dating Lola Vice. And they're just out taking pictures and he's snapping photos of Lola. So I don't know, man. What do they call him? Bisexual Undertaker or metrosexual Undertaker, whatever. He's got game, dude. Ladies love Mark Calloway. What can you say? So here's Rey Mysterio again, another guy who says it's definitely very close. Rey Mysterio talking about his retirement. And thank God they have this AAA shit set up, because he's going to be such a great brand ambassador for both. Fucking Rey Mysterio could manage like the way he manages these LWO guys already. He could fucking manage people in the future, and maybe there's a story way down the line where he like earns his dad manages Dom or something, you know, we don't know. But all I'm saying is Ray's also saying that his time is very close to being done.
Thoughts on retirement? Like, I know that probably like creeps in, right? Like,
oh, it's definitely really close.
Yeah.
It's really close, but at the same time,
please don't.
I'm so motivated.
Yeah.
You know what? 'Cause a lot of people ask me, what keeps you going?
Yeah.
I think that once my son started to wrestle, that kind of pushed me to continue, because I was really getting very close to calling it quits, but that just kind of, it gave me that second win.
Wow.
And
like a new spark.
It pushed me to keep going. And to be honest, I know I'm going to still enjoy it when I retire, but I'm going to have to tap out. I still love what I do. And I always have. So
I love that.
I love hearing stories when I connect with fans.
Yeah.
How they grew up watching me, or I gave him a mask at one point, or just
yeah, that motherfucker slapped my hand once, and I just couldn't even tell you. I marked out so hard. It was like a memory still with me to this day.
Connected with them. I love hearing stories.
I think that's the person who recorded
like that, and the connection with the fans. I think that I gave him a mask at one point, or just connected with them. I love
that's the video. I'm like, what is that? I don't even have a device that makes that sound.
hearing stories like that, and the connection
I'm being hacked
with the fans. I think that also keeps me on the road.
Yeah, so shout out Ray, dude. So speaking again, a guy who's just been going and going. Charles Robinson said he's aiming for 30 years with WWE before retiring. He says I started in 2001, so I'm aiming for at least another 6 years. I still love what I do, and I feel great. So yeah, man. Hopefully he goes another 6. I think he could make it. Little Nate 30. That'd be the perfect time to end it. Here's CM Punk making his first appearance on Sci-Fi's new show Revival.
Let's talk.
So I think Punk is this Tommy guy who's on the phone.
Hey, brother. Got news. Boss is thrilled with the new business opportunity in Wausau, and he wants us to help him run it. Yeah? Check Kings, baby. Shut the hell up, Andrew. There's a problem, though. I talked you boys up enough, but ain't no way in hell you're running this operation, so you need to get me back over the border. You still play poker with that piece of shit Irish cop? Yeah, he's
I don't know. What do you guys think of his line delivery? I'm not hating. There's just a sense of that, like playing 2K mode. And it's like the storyline, like My Rise or whatever, and he's reading fucking lines. Like there's a bit of that vibe, but it's a sci-fi show. So it's not like it's going to be blow you away fucking acting. Well, maybe in some parts, but that's probably what this guy's job is,
around. Good. Overpay. Get him back on the line. That'll get me back in there. And this is important. You want Ma to die in that termite-infested shithole? Because I'd like to see her in a real house. One with a painting studio.
For God's sakes, hurry up.
Excuse me.
I'm done waiting.
What is with the hostility, brother?
It's an emergency.
This is like Dumb and Dumber. Get off the phone. Get off the phone.
Oh, it's an emergency. Yeah, hang on.
It's a little cheesy. I'm not going to lie. He's way better on that show Heels. I don't know the full tone of the show, though, so that could be fitting the tone perfectly, just the vibe I'm getting. He's a little cheesier than the other dude who he's on the other end of the line with. So, again, Superman did the crossover with AEW. They also did a crossover with SmackDown, and not all of SmackDown, rather, but I think good portions of it where the barricade and the ring were all covered in the SmackDown S emblem. And of course, the marketing budget is uncanny for that. WWE Saturday night's main event at State Farm Arena is currently sold over 10,700 tickets. WWE Evolution 2 at State Farm Arena has currently sold over 4,800 tickets. So someone was saying that the CMLL all women show has sold more tickets, or so I don't even know what they were talking about. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, almost 5,000 tickets. That's pretty impressive for the all women show. And I mean, like 11,000 almost for Saturday night's main event is unbelievable. Let me check on the chat here. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep 626 for 2. Says keep your merch ideas. He doesn't want them. The first rollout, we got to go with some shit that's been on my mind. 626 and 626 again for 5 says Steph doesn't take Sri because she's a McMahon. She no-sells mental issues. No one in that family has any mental issues or heart attacks from stress. No, you're true. You're true on that one. You're true speaking there. You're true talking, true walking on that one. Because no, well, I don't know. She no-sells it, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Think about the shit she's had to go through as well. Like, and the stuff she's had to deal with, and like the stuff she's buried, and the demons her dad's even buried. The skeletons are coming out of his closet, and it's fucked up. So, As an actor, CM Punk is a hell of a wrestler. What what time is it in Canada? It is past 10 o'clock here. It's SSRI, like Prozac. Okay. See Smell. He wants to do more heels, but it's in limbo. I know. Yeah, they need a third season, man. Does he still do heels, by the way? I need to get that comic series. Yeah, Punk wrote Drax, which is who Batista played in Guardians. He wrote a Drax comic. Okay, moving along. WWE Hall of Famer Jake Roberts has labeled the upcoming WWE Unreal Netflix series as foolish, saying that no amount of money made from the show will warrant the damage it will do. Now, again, I'm not going to jump on Jake the Snake's ass like he's a legend, but it's like, bro, where's that same energy for the fucking shows Tony's done where they pulled the curtains all the way back with the fucking Bucks marking out for themselves and shit, you know? But again, Jake's not the guy to be like, he's just going to say what he has to say to keep being employed by Tony Khan, and I don't fucking blame him. Crazy that Jake the Snake is still alive and like making money in the wrestling business. And lastly, Kalani Jordan said yes. And Mello don't miss. Mello is money. He fucking married Kalani Jordan there. So air horns and round of applause for them. Round of applause for them, man. That's really good. That they were able to tie the knot, and yeah, I can't be nothing but happy for them. Or I guess they were proposed, rather. It wasn't tied the knot. It's been a long one for me, but we have AEW news coming up. She's cute, good for Mello. Steph has okay, I'm not gonna. Unreal isn't going to hurt anything. Exactly. All the sicko smarks are paying their $15.99s to fucking hear the dirt sheets gossip anyways, so who gives a fuck? Bro, kayfabe died a long time ago, but the business is still going. Yeah. No, Zach the Hozak. Okay. Meltzer said that Evolution is a disappointment from ticket sales. Oh, man. He's such a fucking clown. He's such a clown shoes. Where did he say that? I feel like I fucking missed him saying that somewhere. Let me check. Dave Meltzer, Evolution is a mystery and a change that no one sees. I don't know. I don't see it. But yeah, someone will tag me in it and I'll fucking react to it on another show or something. Meltzer subscriptions come with vasectomies. Yeah, they're 50% off right now. It's super funny. Meltzer said the Evolution is a disappointment in ticket sales. Yeah, Unreal's basically the behind-the-scenes director commentary of a DVD after the movie's been out. Exactly. Okay, so let's head over to... And all together now, let's give an Ichi ni Sanda for AEW news. It is time for AEW news. So Mercedes Monea tells fans to stop calling her Mercedes Hogan.
Don't call me Mercedes Hogan. Call me Mercedes Omega.
Omega. Don't call me Hogan. Call me Omega. Does she not get it? Does she not get why they call her Hogan?
Don't call me Mercedes Hogan. Call me Mercedes Omega.
Like, they don't call you that because you're the GOAT. They call you that because you don't fucking lose, brother. That doesn't work for me, sister. That's why. So crazy for her, like Omega, because she thinks he's like the GOAT or whatever. I was on White Heat and dude was like, yeah, you know, she was banging Okada or whatever. And I was like, whoa, that's like wild to just throw out there. But hey, man, if it's true, it's true. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. AEW star Ortiz says he reassured Ethan Page that WWE would call him when the now NXT North American champion was unsure of what he was going to do following his exit from AEW. Ortiz also said it's really cool seeing Page and fellow former AEW star Ricky Saints working together in WWE and both finding success. See, now Angel Ortiz is saying that, and he's starting to speak out on Twitter now. And when Santana spoke out, he got in a physical altercation with Santana, blew up their friendship. Okay? And now Santana's thriving. He's in TNA. He's ruling. And he has fans everywhere. And he's in NXT as well. And now Ortiz is over here putting over fucking Saints and Page. And like, oh, yeah, I always knew Page would get signed by WWE and shit. Which is cool if that. I'm not saying that's not true, but unfortunate. LAX is a huge fumble for AEW just in general, and I think they'd be a great act to this day, but Santana's proven he doesn't need to go back and do that shit, so it's unfortunate for Ortiz, but hey, man. AEW is heavily interested in Isla Dawn. She was recently backstage at a recent AEW taping. The expectation is she will begin working AEW shows in the very near future. Now, you guys know how much I love Isla Dawn, and I love the Unholy Union or whatever the fuck they're called, the witches. And now Alba Fire, she's doing good shit with Piper Niven, and it's funny seeing her come out as like the secret Hervis, and they're all from Scotland and fucking what's her face, Chelsea Green's from Canada, and they're like coming out to the fucking Star Spangled Banner, Tron, and fucking, it's the 4th of July and stuff. I mean, it's funny, right? And I didn't understand why they released Isla and not Alba, but then we understand why they had a plan for Alba. Well, Isla, I think she would be a good fit in TNA or AEW. I really do. However, in AEW, how much is she going to get pushed? And what happens? Like, is she another? So Sky Blue's spooky now. Julia Hart's spooky now. Thekla's like a kind of a spooky spider lady, right? Does she come in and be like a spooky witch lady again? You got to make a faction of them then. Then there's too many people doing that shit. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with her, but I think any company would be foolish not to sign her immediately, I'm not even saying push her as your world champion right away or anything like that. But you could bring her in and build her up and have her face fucking Monet and have it be like a good storyline. I could even see her evolving from the witch stuff and doing really good shit with like Toni Storm and being like a team with her possibly, and then maybe them splitting up or even just combating each other off rip, because she's very like performative and knows how to work the crowd really well and shit. So yeah, I would scoop her up immediately. Like if I'm NWA, TNA, any of these companies, AEW, I'm trying to get Isla Dawn right away. So good for them, and I hope she gets a good job there. But again, maybe move away from the spooky shit, because yeah, I just don't know if that's the way to go. They already have so many of those gimmicks. So Dynamite, man, the 300th episode, this was touted as like this big deal, Mercedes 1000th match, the 300 episode, the penultimate match. Everyone's talking about the growth, or the penultimate show rather. Everyone's before All In. Everybody's talking about the growth and how and they went all out to promote this, and the Superman crossover, tune in for Superman crossover stuff, and and then it did 584,000 viewers, man. And not to shit on AEW, but dog, this is after everyone was talking all this fucking shit all week, and this is the karma, because it's like, dude, you're driving people nuts trying to explain how dumb this shit you guys are saying is, and then this happens, and it's just like a straight slap in the face. And what is Meltzer gonna say? Oh, they fucking all we're watching on Max. Like, what's the excuse? It's craziness, and hopefully the go home show pops some shit. Grand Slam Mexico, like people just tuned in for the fucking lucha. Like, it's hot lucha summer, man. Everyone wants to see the lucha.
But I forgot use a lot.
And this was terrible. Like when, oh yeah, and Awful put some fucking, he tweeted, he's like, oh, it's okay for AEW to hit women now, like doing the buckshot, and then he had everyone responding to him too. So that's why there's all these accounts going hard at him. It's like all these wrestlers are responding to him, selling for him, which they shouldn't do. I don't get why you'd sell for an account called Awful Wrestling. You know, it's so crazy. Like, especially if you're an AEW wrestler, don't even sell for an account like that. And I love Awful, right? I'm not hating it. You guys all go sell for him, right? Go follow him, right? I'm just saying that, like, if you're an actual wrestler, you should just be so above it. And the fact he actually irks people but it's just a testament to, like, he's actually funny and shit. If you can't find the humor in it, I don't really, understand. I don't know. You got to be able to find the humor in what he does, how he's just a flat out hater on this thing. Like, I mean, I don't know, dude. I see flat out hater accounts on sport teams and shit. Like, it's what they're doing, so you can't let it get to you. And, it's to me, it's funny, but I get it. He's gaining a lot of traction, 15,000 followers, like Awful, I think, right? I think he just tweeted about that today. Yeah, 15K. So he has more followers than, like, a lot of wrestlers have. There's people signed to AEW who don't even have 15K followers. And these little edits are fucking brilliant. And yeah, he got mad about, well, he didn't get mad. He was baiting everyone, right? Like, it's what he does. And so he fucking put out a post about, like, oh, women can get hit in AEW now. And, like, come on, man. Like, women get beat up in all of fucking wrestling all the time, the Attitude Era especially. And he knows that, right? But he knows it's going to outrage everyone. And then he gets the engagement. And then motherfuckers, like, over 250,000 just on this video. So shout out Awful. And, like, now that wrestlers are selling for him, now you're seeing, like, all these accounts like, this fucking guy, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're just people trashing him, man. You should see it. It's, like, so ridiculous. And it's like, none of you guys are trolls. None of you guys you are the same people who like accounts that are called, like, AEW Defender and, like, WWE Sucks 101 and shit. Like, you're all liking those accounts. It's craziness. So either way, funny shit. And after they talked all this shit, 584,000 viewers. I mean, how disappointing, right? Especially for, like, this penultimate show. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Fred Rosser, aka Darren Young from WWE, the Primetime Players, was backstage at the AEW Dynamite and Collision tapings on Wednesday in Ontario, California. I think he wrestled once on, like, Dynamite or Collision a long time ago. Mercedes Mone tells WWE fans to stop crying and watch AEW. So here you go, you fed drones.
I miss Pee. Cry baby.
You cry baby, huh?
You can watch Mercedes Moné
You can watch a Mercedes Moné every Wednesday.
every single week on AEW Dynamite. And in 10 days, you can watch me on AEW All In when I become the AEW Women's World Champion. Thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's what's gonna happen, Yeah. And she's just telling them to go watch AEW. And good, that's what she should be doing. I'd be telling them to shut the fuck up too and watch the show. It's just that it's hard when she just gives off the vibe constantly of she, like, detests WWE fans, but then she puts over Vince and WWE and shit. But then the fans, she's, like, always just snarling at them and stuff. And provided she probably gets trolled. I do like that she doesn't get triggered. Like, she addresses the trolls. She'll kind of troll herself. And I do actually appreciate that from Monet. And I mean, realistically, guys, okay, Tony was going to do this belt collecting shit with someone. Who's she going to do it with? And everybody, like, misunderstands and doesn't understand who's she going to do it with. Long day, pal. Who's he going to do it with? Her, right? But here's the thing. Everybody, like, over amplifies the nature of her creative control in her fucking contract, though. That's my problem. Like, I will defend her on that one. This isn't just, yes, like, when she goes to New Japan and doesn't eat a pin and shit, yes, that's her being like, and Tony being like, well, we don't want to get pinned. 100%, right? But that it's everyone has that in AEW to some degree. Everybody to some fucking degree. And that's why the show can never get on track, because it's Tony's bad creative mixed with trying to appease everyone's shit. And of course he's helping facilitate this push. but it's not like she can go and say, I'm winning CMLL's title and shit. She can't just do that, okay? Even dropping it, I bet if she had a choice, she would not have dropped that belt. But when they gave her the out, she knows, like, I can't, I'm going to be called Mercedes Hogan, so I got to I won't get pinned, sister, but I'm fucking, I'll drop it, but she knows, man. Otherwise, she wouldn't have even dropped that belt at all. Period. If it was just her usurping everyone's power, like her creative control doesn't mean she can beat Swerve. No. If Swerve has creative control too, he can go off and make sneakers and wrestle indies and shit too. Okay. Mone, if fucking Swerve's like, I'm beating this guy, he has that say. Now, if it's like, I'm beating Edge probably has more say over Swerve. And then that's what happened to WCW. It's exactly what happened in WCW. You had Kevin Nash, Hogan, Goldberg, Sting. They're all in their own fucking lane, and they're not in the same fucking lane together, riding the ship together like some of these other companies are doing, right? So Mone, though, I will defend her on that. She gets over-criticized for the creative control. It's not to the extent where she can just, like, it's Hogan in New Japan. He couldn't just walk in and do what he wants, but he's so over that there's still an element of that. Like, well, brother, I'm going over, or whatever. I'm going to shit on this title, and me and Inoki are going to team up, dude. Like, there's always, he can just say that because he's fucking, and that's where the Mercedes Hogan shit comes from, which is justified. I'm not saying she ain't Mercedes Hogan whatsoever. That's what it is to a T. But it's just a matter of, like, it's not like she is fucking like running the company, but yeah, she clears all of her lines. Probably Peppermint goes over, hey, I was thinking about this, Mercedes, I want to actually do this. That's what she can do. But it doesn't mean like I can walk into fucking all these companies are going to give me their belts. Like, they benefit from having her show up. She's on TV every week. She has all these titles. She's in the high profile matches. And if Tony was going to do this with anybody, who would he do this with besides her? Tony Storm? Would everyone be mad about it? Would they just call her Tony Hogan? Like, that's the problem. They're calling everyone Rhea Hogan, Becky Hogan. Not everyone's Hogan because they don't lose all the time. Some people shouldn't lose at all, So, yeah, I guess if they're building her up, hopefully there's a big payoff. That's all I can say. If they give her the strap and then she just keeps knocking down challengers, and then out of nowhere, like, Willow dethrones her, but there isn't even, well, remember they wrestled at New Japan Strong 3 years ago. No one that'll be terrible if they don't build Willow correctly. It's all about how they tell the story. So thus far, the story's been shit. Criticism's justified, but the creative control clause, like, people just blow that way out of proportion. Anyways, though, here's what Alfred Konuwa had to say about the media and Tony Khan blowing shit way out of proportion. And by shit, I mean AEW's recent television success.
2025 is the best year we had.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
We've been able to grow our cable audience year over year.
Growth in cable? Who's doing that?
Well, honestly, us.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Growth in cable? Who's doing that? Well, honestly, us. Well, honestly, you're fucking not, buddy. Well, honestly, Maury says you fucking lying, buddy.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar! Liar!
Actually, our cable audience, when we started simulcasting, went up.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Even by, like, it's so funny because even with Meltzer, he's like, well, of course it would go down because it's people are cord cutting and going to streaming, Brian. So it's so funny because even Tony goes and like refutes, like, we can dig up where Dave was on that shit. And then so Tony's saying that it's the opposite of your like defense of AEW, Dave. So they always just not, because it's bullshit. That's why. And I don't blame Tony for carnying, by the way. I don't blame that shit at all. Like, even, Vince McMahon straight up fucking almost smacked a reporter and shit like that. I would, if Tony went to that level of craziness, I would kind of put it over. Like, I found it entertaining as fuck when he went on TV and was like, you're the Harvey Weinstein. But even Vince wouldn't do that because he just knows, like, well, that's how you don't get on the NFL network again. You know what I mean? This is how you make it so no one welcomes you back here. You fucking idiot. This is how you cost people their jobs. So I don't know, man. It's just bullshit, and the media is going to push it. But thank God for Alfred Konuwa you know, pulling people's cards. Speaking of pulling cards, though, here's Big Show. Still signed to AEW, still catching planes. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just vibing, taking pictures with kids at an airport.
When you casually run into Big Show at the airport, kids couldn't believe it at Debit so Whippical.
It's a big bad show tonight. Oh, baby, come on.
What a good dude. Who wouldn't recognize him, too? And he's still taking planes. Hopefully someone gets his ass a private plane. Speaking of Dynamite, it dropped below 600K viewers for Wednesday's big 300th episode. However, the show had increases from last week in the 18 to 49 demo. Dynamite averaged 584K viewers, down 5% from last, up 7% in the key demo. So the key demo just chose not to watch on Max this week, Dave. But somehow it was an increase in the key demo, but somehow the overall viewership was down. Well, the young people are skewing over to Max. Or is it just you have this base like 600K, 650K sickos, and then you have some fucking wackos who will tune in when you do a special like Grand Slam Mexico, and they're like, holy shit, is the ring going to be janky again? Or they're like, holy shit, I love Lucha. Year over year, Dynamite was down 15% in total viewers, with the key demo down 30%. Compared to Dynamite 200 back in August of 23, the show was down 35% in total viewers. The key demo was down 48%. Whoa. Whoa. Now, you guys know I don't like to sit here and nitpick these fucking ratings and stuff. However, it was their 300th episode, man. That is wild. That's wild, dude. Half. And this was a boost from last week, up 7%, but it's down about 50% from their 200th episode. Crazy. Crazy, man. But you're a grifter for pointing out why this show might be bad in places. It's fucking crazy. So Tony Khan had this to say. He would be open to holding state-sponsored AEW events. We talked about this. He said, well, it depends on the situation. I think, it's all about the details. So it would have to be a deal that made sense for the territory and especially for us here at AEW. So again, dude, if Putin paid him enough money, he'd go do a show there. If Saudi Arabia's like, we want you at Riyadh season, he would do the matches there. Trust me on that. He's not above it. If the mayor of London was like, we want you here, we'll knight you, Tony Khan. LA knight you. Yeah. And then he's like, come and we'll do fucking all in London here. Like, we'll pay you to do it here. He would fucking do it in a heartbeat. So he's not above that at all. But again, the criticism goes on WWE when in 25 fucking years, AEW might be in Riyadh. We don't know. And then what are you sickos going to say then? That's why you don't virtue signal. But yeah, just to Julian Weeks post the Dynamite viewership here from 1.47 million. 200, 894,000, Dynamite 300, 584,000 people watching. So like 300,000 people, give or take. And like 200,000, 300,000. Dynamite 300,000 people jumped off a cliff since last year's or the last 200 show, right? It's crazy because these episodes, Dynamite 100, and then the next year, Dynamite 200, they lost like 200,000, then 300, they lose like 300,000. It's all just cord cutting. Meanwhile, WWE staying steady has popped good ratings, and also their attendances are through the roof. So you can make the argument, well, if the cable numbers are down, it's likely that the streaming numbers are way up. Why? Because the houses reflect that, the demand at Fanatics Fest, the ticket prices, the constant sellouts, the appearance fees and shit. All of these things we can point to, right? For AEW, you can't just go, oh, they all went to streaming. Okay, but they weren't on fucking Max between like the entire time between 2 and 300, and this didn't happen overnight. We progressively watched the viewership get lower and lower and lower. So it's not like they spent 3 years training the audience to go to Max. It's been like how long? A year since they've been on that or whatever, since they started simulcasting. So it's pretty wild to see that chart. And again, this one that I just keep here until there's an updated one for next year. Like this really just tells the story. Punk, Rhodes leaving, Punk leaving. It just died, It just fucking died. But All in Texas, TMZ reports that Tony Khan has revealed that All in Texas Gate has passed $2.5 million, with the expectation being that it will cross $3 million. And so I'm an asshole, and I'm like, okay, so that paid for Edge this year, you know? Okay, so this All in Gate, your WrestleMania show of the year, fucking paid Moxley this year, barely. You guys know what I'm saying? That's wild when you really think about it. So moving along here. Hangman Adam Page says AEW's recent momentum. What momentum? It's because if you have to keep saying it, then it's just not true. You know, you all have to keep saying, like, show us, dude. Show us the momentum. So Hangman says the AEW's recent momentum, that's completely fabricated from Sickos and the IWC, feels like the same magic from the early days of the company. It very much does feel like, for me personally, in my experience week to week, a lot of the same magic of those first weeks and months of AEW TV. I mean, I guess so, man. Punk got out of there, and there's no one trying to make money anymore again, I guess so. All in Texas is one of the biggest gates. This is what Tony says. It's going to be over $3 million in tickets for the first time ever in the U.S. We've never even done over 2 million before in the U.S., so we're hitting a bunch of cool milestones with this as a business. Pretty fucking wild, man, that this is his... Like, he's trying to flex this, dude. He's flexing his gate right now. Like, what's going on? How are you flexing this gate? This ain't a flexible gate, I don't think. Maybe it is, but I'm telling you, when UFC does 9 million, they're like, 9 million, whatever. Kind of shitty, you know? So Chris Van Vliet talks to Christopher Daniels, who reveals that he worked us for over a year with his eye injury. Now, I don't know if it's a fucking work.
Liar!
His eye was like black for fucking a year.
I don't know.
How long did it take your eye to heal up?
So, newsflash, that was never real. What? That was fake. Yes. So, I had the match with the Young Bucks. All right. And all of you that are watching now, you're going to feel this. So, I had the match with the Young Bucks where SCU split up. I got super kicked into the post. And the next day, I had this huge black eye, and I can give you guys pictures to show later down the line. Had this huge black eye, and it started to fill with blood. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. And then like 3 days later, it healed, and I was like, oh, that's too bad. And then I thought, what if I did? So at the time, Abaddon was working for us, and she wears these contacts. And I said, do you have a guy that does these contacts? Because I want to do this thing. She's like, yeah, she's super.
And then it built to nothing. It just built to Adam Page retiring him in a death match and then getting mad that other people were beating Daniels' ass. You guys remember that? Like, Hangman got mad after he like bloody beat down Daniels in a death match and retired him. So this whole eye angle led to nothing. And this was Abaddon giving him a contact.
Put me in touch with this guy. And I was like, listen, this is what I want. I just want to make it look like a hemorrhage.
What was the payoff?
And that was a storyline that I had pitched this idea of, like, I had lost everything. I made this video that I presented to the AEW, you know, and Tony, and I was like, hey, here's the story. I was the ring general, but my plans failed. And because of that, SCU is no longer a thing. And now I have this scar to show for my failure.
Everyone has these stories they pitch to Tony Khan, and he never takes them.
But I'm going to come back, and all I have left is my career and my fighting.
Well, no, you just sit in Gorilla and shut the fuck up. How about that?
And so I sent this in, and like at the end of that match, I even said to Matt and Nick and Frankie, I was like, this might be my last match. I could retire from this. And if I retire because of this, cool. And so I didn't wrestle for like 3 or 4 months. And then I came up with this idea, gave it to Tony. And then I started doing a little bit of the indies. And I thought, okay, well, this will get me back on television. But like, we never really capitalized on that.
He starts doing it on the indies. And if it's over on the indies, then we'll put it on TV. Fucking Tony sucks, man. Tony fucking absolutely sucks at this shit. Like,
The best guy is Tony Khan.
I don't even know what to say. He had to go do it on the indies and is like, well, this will get me back on television. Why the fuck are you signed there? Like, Oh God, man, Tony. He's always just shutting down everyone's ideas. It seems like 626 for 2 says Dave and Tony Khan kiss goodnight. Do not aggregate. Well, you know
The
what
best
they
guy is
say,
Tony
dude.
Khan.
It's great.
They kiss goodnight, dude. Yeah, kiss me through the phone. They send each other kissy texts. I don't put any of this on Daniels. He had an idea, but creative failed him. Another fumble. CD was the real high power. Truthfully, I always had Hangman being the first person to leave AEW. DK can't book and is a goof. Boris lives in Russia. Okay. The UK is the original evil empire. Yeah, Bill. Okay, let's move along here because we have some news. We have some more Mercedes Mone and her reaction to someone saying they wanted more of her versus Britt Baker, who's been in the news recently.
We wanted more with you versus Britt. You did? Well, if the DMD wants a back adjustment, she knows where to find me. In my locker room. But make sure you knock on the door first before entering. Or I'm going to call security and the cops.
Yeah, so she's just working. I mean, that's fucking funny. But yeah, Britt Baker's likely fucking out of there. So John Gruden says, I'm a big wrestling fan. This box may have the greatest gift I've ever received, and it comes from Tony Khan and AEW. I'm a big wrestling fan, and what they're doing over at AEW is pretty amazing. If you like wrestling, you got to check this stuff out. So this is straight up a paid fucking advertisement, clearly. Oh, yeah, check out this fucking wrestling. You got to check it out. John Gruden. Now, let's look at what he sent John Gruden.
This is from AEW, Jake, All Elite Wrestling. Unbelievable. How did they know I'm a huge fan? You know who the CEO of AEW is? Tony Khan.
Actually, it's Mercedes Monea, and you know that if you were actually a true AEW fan, which you are not, good sir.
Fucking Mark! The owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He does it all for AEW. I mean, he promotes it. He's the CEO. I think he does it all. AEW Wrestling. Man, they got some people in this freaking AEW that are not only great wrestlers, they're great entertainers. Every time I watch it, I get more and more excited. It makes me feel nice. Hey, look at this, a card. AEW, All Elite, with a hand of dice. Nothing but phenomenal.
You know this guy doesn't watch it at all. You know this guy's never heard of an AEW.
Look at this.
So he's sending him the Young Buck shoes that he'll never wear. This guy's a 70-year-old man. And a bunch of fucking AEW shirts.
This thing weighs at least 30 pounds, man. Is this great or what? This Tony Khan, I love you, man. I love the Jaguars. I love AEW. And, man.
I'm telling you, man, they think people are fucking stupid. They think their audience is fucking stupid and childish. You know, and it kind of is because we love pro wrestling, but WWE at least doesn't treat the audience like stupid, dumb fucking babies. Now, they did a lot. Vince did that a lot, but they haven't done it recently. Whatever you got to say about the booking, at least they're not doing that.
The Young Bucks.
There you go. Yeah.
Tony.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, what are you going to cut a John Cena promo? So that's John Gruden, but then people posted, they're like, fucking, here's who John Gruden is. Raiders coach resigns after homophobic and misogynistic emails. In emails detailed by the New York Times, Raiders coach John Gruden casually used misogynistic and homophobic language to disparage people. I mean, I use homophobic and misogynistic language, but only to disparage myself, chat, okay? But no, can we have fun, guys? I'm not about like canceling people, but if he's using it to be like, this F word is whatever. Like, I'm not really down. Like, I don't get down too much with that. But if it's just, I don't know what it is. But either way, it was bad enough he had to resign. So, yeah. And there's going to be no outrage. No one's going to keep the same energy on the AEW fan side as far as like, why is this guy promoting? Like, if he was promoting WWE, they'd be like, oh, the guy who got fired, this alt-right fucking these guys are just MAGA, you know, like that's what people would say about, I don't even know if that fits, but that's what the fuck they would say. I'm telling you. So Neckbeard says there would have to be a demand for the product in order to raise ticket prices. So AEW ticket prices will not be raised, says Kenny Omega. And he says, no, we will never raise our prices. We believe they are fair. A fan shouldn't. You've raised and lowered them a bunch, so this is a lie. Fans shouldn't have to go take out a loan or finance to go to a wrestling show. We appreciate our fans, and that's why we'll not be raising our prices. Again, Tony Khan, if he was doing WrestleMania numbers, he'd be raising the prices immediately. You know, he'd be the first one to do it. Kenny Omega talks the variety on AEW's roster and in pro wrestling and says WWE working with AAA is great to see. Kenny, you got to get to the Fed, bro. He says we have complete cards, which I think is the most exciting part of our show and programming right now. We have a lot of young guys that can do incredible things. Everyone can do the incredible things, though. We have some bigger dudes on our roster, too, which I think we sort of had a lack of, but now we have the Bobby Lashleys, the Hobbses, the Joes, and they're all booked in tag team and trios matches, and they aren't booked seriously, Omega. So what are you talking about? Of course, we have the Will Ospreys, the Swerves, and the Hangmans that are just their physical peak right now. Takeshita, of course, another one. And now we're implementing a lot of the luchador style as well. So I feel like AEW has really become, and even now with AAA working with WWE, they're introducing a little more lucha libre to their stuff as well, too, which I think is just great to see. In a perfect world, I would always love to show the various styles of professional wrestling so people can develop an appreciation for it. Yeah, and that's fair. I'm not hating on that, dude, but yeah, you fucking everyone's faking the funk here this week. So now that Monet's dating Mortis, me and Morty, Frank Morty, I call him Frankie. I call him Frankie Mo. So Momo, as we'll call this couple, we're coining it here before anyone else can. Momo, Monet and Mortis. Okay. Coined here at PWT. I need a coin sound effect, Julia Gulia. Just a fucking Mario one. Boom. We coined that. Momo. Here is them just hanging out, making a TikTok, a lovely couple's TikTok here.
My name is Pink and I'm really glad to meet you.
Who's this Pink Panthers?
My name is
Yeah, man, they're in love. They're in young love. So Bobby Lashley says, I know that the critics try to keep AEW down because anytime they talk about a WWE guy going over, they act like it's a bad thing. I keep trying to tell them I'm not a WWE wrestler. I'm not an AEW wrestler. I'm a wrestler. No, Lashley, I want you to fucking gore Moxley through an electric barbed wire table, glass pane, through a window to the street. And not because I wish harm on Moxley, but because I know that's his dream, is to like fucking do a Darby Allin type stunt through chairs, through glass and thumbtacks. I know, dude, I have these thumbtacks that have like sparklers attached to them. And then it's going to like go, let's fall into a pool of them. But the pool actually has a lot of hot coals below it. So like, we're going to walk on our bare feet and like, you know, so yeah, I hope he just spears personally. Now I know some people might not like Hurt Business being in AEW at all and think it's too WWE-ish, but I would love if like Lashley was the world champ right now, and then maybe he loses to Hobbs, and then maybe fucking Omega, you know, beats Hobbs, and then Wardlow beats him, and then MJF is like, you squashed me before, son of a, you know, and we're talking like over the next handful of years, right? Like I want to see the top guys do top guy shit. So I'm down with Lashley beating everybody in AEW. I wrestled for WWE for a good portion of my career. Now I'm a wrestler for AEW. That's all you need to know by me. And that's true, man. Like Lashley at one point, if he never returned to WWE, would have spent more time in TNA than WWE, I believe, as well. He would have been on that list. So he's wrestled all over, and I respect him for that. Oh, I keep leaving the fucking AEW news. So Mercedes Moné shares her favorite matches of her career ahead of her 1000th match. And here's her list. She says, some of my favorite matches, Brooklyn, WrestleMania 37, Hell in a Cell 2020, anything with Asuka, Battle in the Valley, Battle in the Valley, Full World's End, Tokyo Adoma, AEW spring a breakthrough. So those are her favorite matches, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So didn't even put a top 10. But yeah, a lot of those were good. Brooklyn, that's the Bailey one, right? Where they just stole the show. Again, Bailey was in that match. That's all I'm saying. I'm not burying Mercedes, but when she gets in there with some of these women like Vaquer and Bailey, it's like, well, of course they're going to steal the fucking show. And I'm not saying Monet doesn't add to that. It takes two to tango. Absolutely. But as far as like the 4 horsewomen, I don't know, man. I always put Monet before Becky. Like to me, it's Charlotte, Bailey, Monet, Becky until Becky got over as the man. And then for me, I was like, it's Charlotte, Bailey, Becky, Monet. Just because she got over to that next level, you know? And yeah, so that's the way I look at it. So when the 4 horsewomen have ever met up, it's like Bailey to me is at the top of that. Like her and Charlotte having matches with anyone. Even this last Mania, everyone was worried about the Tiffy match. Like they pulled a great match out of each other. And that's Charlotte. Like she's just one of the fucking goats. But I'm not diminishing her at all. But yeah, I think Bailey being in that match had a huge reason and their chemistry and all that.
18, when she was just beginning training.
What is she even talking about here? She talks about how proud she is of Mina Shirakawa.
To be a professional wrestler.
And Mina's fucking amazing. I love Mina Shirakawa.
And she was telling me her dreams were to come to the United States and to be in a major wrestling promotion. And now here she is, just the most amazing live show, charisma, so much talent. And to be able to look back and be like, okay, me.
Yeah, I love Mina. More fucking Mina on our Mina Shirakawa. So here's Daniel Garcia. You beat Daniel Garcia. Congratulations. Who hasn't beat Daniel Garcia?
To be TNT champion,
So here's like AEW is now becoming a parody of itself. And it's just like when Ospreay says, the reason AEW sucks right now, we have Garcia literally saying, oh, you beat Garcia. Congratulations. Who hasn't?
To be TNT champion, you think that you deserve to be TNT champion because you beat Daniel Garcia? Congratulations. Who hasn't beat Daniel Garcia? To be TNT.
And then they laugh at you. You just cooked yourself. Like, who's said if Tony was a good booker, he would never allow you to fucking say this? It's utter madness.
Champion, you think that you deserve to be TNT champion because you beat Daniel Garcia? Congratulations. Who hasn't beat Daniel Garcia? To be
That's insane to say that. And then you hear the crowd start to laugh like a stand-up that sounds like a sitcom. Who produced this segment? Fucking Chuck Lorre, right?
Daniel Garcia.
Like they start fucking laughing at ha 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 ha. Like Full House, bro. What's going on here? Why would you guys say the reason AEW sucks right now? Oh, who hasn't beat Garcia? Why would you okay him to say that on TV? A. Why would he think that's a good idea? Why would anyone okay that as a good idea? Why is he even out there to begin with, if that's what people think? Holy shit, man. 1, 2, 3. People say 1, 2, 3 kid. 1, 2, 3 mid. Bro. Fuck, man. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was AEW News. Let me check in with chat. Yeah. Real quick. Let me check in with chat real quick. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Adam Cole and Garcia are such fuck ups. 1, 2, 3 skid mark. Garcia looks like he strips copper for a living, then does bachelorette parties and trailer park. Saying this, almost every one of these AEW stars want out of AEW. That's not false to it. Yeah, AEW Exodus 2025, man. I like being the man that time zones forgot. Yeah, speaking of time zones, it is like 11 p.m. where the fuck I'm at. Ladies and gentlemen, there's like 400 watching. If you're on X, come on over to YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe, consider becoming a member for 99 cents, get access to my Monday shows. I will see you guys on Monday. I got to get the fuck out of here. It's late. I will see you guys on Monday, and Wednesday is going to be a fun show as well. And it'll be regular time. And then Saturday, we have a long one. I'll have a preview podcast show as well, where I will preview Great American Bash, the Saturday night's main event. I will preview All In Texas B, and I'm going to have a good lineup for that one, I believe, as well. 2 people that are the most requested to come back, both privately and publicly, that you guys have been asking for a minute, I think are going to come and preview those shows. So that should be awesome. Thank you all. Round of applause for everybody being here. Hit like, hit subscribe, consider becoming a member, support what I do. I appreciate it. So Member Monday, make sure you're there. Make sure you're there for Wednesday's live show. All In is going to be a fucking blast. Okay. And I can't wait for that, to be honest. Like the All In, to watch it compared to a WWE show. It's really wild that they're taking a shot like this at their WrestleMania. So can't wait to break all of that down and more. Thank you all for being here. Drink lots of water. I got to go do that myself. Get lots of rest. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shitloads of people tuned in. I didn't think anyone was tuning in because I started way later. But hey, we might have to do some After Darks more fucking often. You know what they say, chat.
You got to be a hoe.
Peace and love. Until next time, I will see you in the Upside Down. Peace.
Acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts.
You know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We have just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me out of my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
You got to run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we have just secured the bag.
But, like, you got to promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. You'll be like my favorite movie. SmackDown. So great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
Keep themselves safe.